And we're back here once again with another episode of the MSK show, and this is going to be episode 214. So I hope you guys had a great day, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week that is ahead of you. And in this episode of the MSK show, for this Wednesday's episode, I know you guys usually see myself and Great Poupe and Lunchbox Warren, but certain things happened this week. So the usual show that I do with Labs Comic Fan on Tuesday, we didn't do because he had to go to the doctors, actually. So he said, hey, I'll just come on another day. And then Lunchbox Warren ended up basically working on Wednesday. He usually is the third person that we have on for Wednesday. And I was like, you know what? I could take the white man and put him on the show with the black man and the other white man. You see, have a full diversity, equity, and inclusion pie kind of going on here, So yeah, that's kind of what ended up happening. But next week we will have our usual Tuesday show, because as you guys know, Laps is old and he needs to go to the doctors, which is very much okay. Have to make sure his body is good, clean, and working and ready to go. So
has nothing to do with me being old.
I'm just saying it's good for people your age to go get checkups. So I'm just saying it's not a bad thing.
It wasn't a checkup. I have Crohn's disease. I had to get my medication.
Oh my God. See, this is why you got to be less subtle, man. And just, let me be the person to make your life better. I'm going to be like that sunshine where you wake up like, oh, Black Jesus.
MSK, are you telling somebody else to be subtle?
How the tides have turned. So
you gotta listen to the talking mustard. He knows what he's talking about.
We also would have had a one-on-one with Comics Division, but he had to stay longer for work. So this is the only show we're gonna end up having today. And I might stream, I don't know, League or Yu-Gi-Oh later on if I'm not completely dead, because I may or may not pop into Iron Oxide's Rogues Gallery Vegas recap episode after this is over. That depends on if I'm not feeling super tired, because I'm so dead after work. Holy crap.
What is it, his Vegas weekend?
Oh, no. He was doing a episode of his podcast where he was recapping the F&T Vegas meetup that everyone went to. So, I might pop back in for that if I'm not completely dead. But I had a great time. The only thing that I wish I could have did was that I just wanted to go to Cosmic Comics, that place that I went to back in 2023. But other than that, I had a great time. Went to a strip club, and man, her ass was doing things to me that I didn't know were possible. But other than that, took a lot of pictures, met a lot of people that, I'm only going to get a chance to see, like, basically this time of the year, once a year. Iron and Selena, I can go see easy because Vegas is literally like an hour and 15 minutes away from me. So that's not hard to do. They're going to come out here, I think, mid-May, late May. So we can go to Frankensons, which is basically a comic book trading card game giant vendor place. That's where I want you to come to, is Frankensons. You've never been to Frankensons. You as a comic book person will probably buy a lot of that stuff there, honestly. That's what now I'm thinking about it. I want you to come to that when we actually set that up.
Buy the store.
I don't think you can do that. If you could, you should give the money to me. Reparations and everything for what your people did to mine. But,
right.
That's what, now that I'm thinking about it, that'll be more of your speed going to Frankensons. And no, you will for sure like that. If you don't like this place, and I don't know what you're going to like, honestly,
right.
There's comic book vendors everywhere. And they have a lot of stuff. And I spend most of my time there at the comic book place. Now, to be fair, I do go to the trading card sections, but the comic book stuff, they have everything layered out. Man, there's trades you can buy for like $5. Oh my goodness, I love it. I can't wait to go next month.
I like how my store is where I go. They have like a really large,
it's like Walmart. If it was like comic books,
not the size huge. Of Walmart, but they have like this really big back room. This they play different card game stuff. What's really cool is they have this table
for Warhammer.
They have this table, right? So whatever card game you're playing, they have like these preloaded things into it. So like when you put your card down, right? The little barcodes on the card, I saw them doing it with Magic cards. So like when they put their card down, the card appears on the LCD table, and then they can do stuff that way. I don't know what other games they do, but there's like game nights, and
I never
I've
asked
seen
you.
him play Robotech and stuff.
Have you
there.
trading card games? I think you said you played Magic before at one point, right?
Play nearly anything as much as I did back in the early 90s.
Oh, okay. All right.
I haven't done anything in a very long time, put it that way.
I'm just saying, you and your son could learn the Pokemon TCG. Now, keep in mind, it's very simple. It's free.
I could do that.
Yeah. I'm saying you're gonna love it. It's
but
very,
I
very
won't.
fun. You could be more fun. I'm gonna get the fun out of you if it kills me.
He's not a Pokemon kid.
That's crazy. Every kid his age loves Pokemon. That's crazy. That's insane.
Hold on. What'd you say, Gray?
What'd you say, Gray?
At least he didn't suggest Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
he would. Okay, he would love Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh's for Chads. Magic is literally for fat, smelly losers. Do not give him that, honestly.
I mean, I just don't like the way you describe things for people. Like Magic's for fat, smelly losers.
It is.
Really?
Because
my brother plays Magic.
Okay, your brother's the exception to the rule. He's like successful and rich.
I'm just saying, like he would stomp all of us into the my He's like 6'7".
Yeah, he's the exception
muscles.
to the rule. He's not fat or smelly.
You know, but I'm just saying.
Oh my
God. He might be the exception to the rule, but I mean, I wouldn't say all of those people are like that.
Gamer Chick.
I don't know.
How's your books going? So we'll start with intros, and we're just gonna have a little good time talking. Guys, I had a very long day at work, and if I did a topic right now, I would say some slurs that would get me banned off YouTube for certain things that I've seen on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie. People are saying the most retarded shit again. I have been watching the NBA playoffs. We've been asking. I watch both Eastern Conference and West. I've been alternating between like West, East, League, and just kind of doing a fucking circle like that, honestly. So I recently finished the first 2 days.
Some gamer chick finished writing a book in a week. You haven't even read a book in a week, MSK. That is impressive.
Reading novels is for pretentious weirdos, honestly. I'm not a novel reader. I'm a sane human being. I read comic books for Chads.
Dude, you haven't read a comic in how long?
The last one I read was the one we reviewed last week.
He looks at the pictures, so that's like half of the reading.
Oh, goodness gracious, man. Gamer Chick, I may have something for you to help me with later on. I'll DM it to you later on. But
he's still trying to figure out that Grover A through B book.
Good Lord. You guys are assholes. So, Gray, how was your week? How you doing, man?
Good. Nobody in my family has died this week, so hey, things are looking up. Good times. Things are good, man. Nothing to complain about. Nothing but sunshine around here. I decided to cut my dog's hair, and then halfway through it, I got in a debate with somebody. So my dog is like half haircut right now. So that's kind of weird, but it's funny looking. So good times.
How you gonna do that to my buddy? How are you gonna do that to my buddy? You gonna let him go outside looking like that?
Yeah, actually, it's kind of fun. The neighbors are staring, but it looks like he's got big old Kogo boots.
All right. Last comic fan, what's going on, man? I haven't seen you in like literally a week, so you've been doing pretty good.
Yeah, good.
That's good. Awesome.
I don't really do much. I read a lot of comics this week.
What stuff did you read beside the Summer of Superman special?
Well, I had to pick up all the Challengers of the Unknown so I could follow all the dark side stuff, and then I had to buy the New Gods, which I didn't want to do. But there was a lot of stuff in there that is essential to what they showed in the DC one-shot special. And I'm just not it's actually not bad. I guess it's one of Ram V's better things. It's not as weird as his detective comics was. I think this is more up his alley. Being like that, he can kind of, be that tell those giant, grand, sweeping stories since he's dealing with them. But other than that, man, I mean, I read Hush 2 chapter 2 today. I got that today, and honestly, just been reading a lot of comics.
Yeah, it feels good reading comics and watching the NBA. I love it, actually.
I've been doing that too.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, man. I wish, man, the Clippers and Nuggets series feels like a finals, does it not? It feels
like the playoffs because they're both in the West. So doesn't feel like the finals.
I mean, sure does. You can consider this a finals caliber series, honestly.
Well,
But
I don't want to bore people with sports talk if they don't like sports.
oh,
So
goodness gracious, Gray, he
I
likes
don't know
hockey.
if Gray. I love hockey. There you go. But my team's terrible this year.
Hockey is
So
kind of for losers, so I don't watch it. You know.
wow.
Yeah.
See, like you just generalize so much where there's like such a
True.
large portion of people that just there's like a whole country where like that's their sport besides curling as their national sport, but hockey is literally life. So like, I'm not just going to generalize all those people into one thing, and hockey is fucking awesome.
But that's how you enrage people.
It's true.
That's how you get the bait out of them. Like I want to get your anger. I want to get the passion out of the fans.
I know you're all about bait and MSK, but come on, man. Leave hockey alone.
Hey, you know what? I'll say this.
Lies.
I find it hilarious that hockey players can play an 82 game season, a much more grueling season, and play almost every game, and basketball players can't even fucking play an 82 game season. They don't even play back to backs.
Yeah, and they get new shoes every game. Like hockey equipment is disgusting, man. Like those guys deserve a medal for wearing that.
No,
stuff.
you're not lying. I always have respect for the hockey players because they can play as many games as you just said. Like there are basketball players their foot will be bothering them, and then they'll miss like 20 games. We're not even talking like a serious injury, just like you miss 20 games because your foot's bothering you.
I see things like I love basketball. I really do. I think it's just because it's something I can play. And I've done it for a long time, but like when I watch guys come out of games in the playoffs, and it's like I see 40-year-old like back in the 90s. I like saw 40-year-old Chris Chelios with a broken face and a wired jaw shut, and he's still playing. Like get the fuck out of here! It's your garbage.
It was always fun seeing Shaq run off of the analyst desk and go to the bathroom.
Take a shit. All right, that was kind of funny.
And then the next day, they put a porta potty next to his part of the analyst desk, and then Charles Barkley comes up and he doesn't even notice it. Like, I hope that's not scripted because that's the best analyst desk show on television.
I definitely like those guys. I'm glad they're going to ESPN after this year because that would have sucked.
Oh, you're right. They won't be on.
Well, no, the show is on ESPN. They're not like just the show. They're still contracted by Turner.
Okay, so those four will just be basically NBA on ESPN.
It'll be the same show. It'll just be on ESPN. It'll be on ESPN.
So TNT, they terminated their NBA.
No, they didn't terminate it. It's that they tried. NBC outbid them.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
Instead of going to NBC, which is like a massive, Turner and NBC just don't get along. ESPN had the contract for the other games, so they just some sort of deal worked out to where the TNT show inside the NBA and stuff will be on ESPN.
Dude, if we're being honest here, man, like no offense to Stephen A. Smith, he tries his best, but the other people that are with him on NBA on ESPN are so just they're not as good.
I mean, I can't stand Stephen A. Smith. I mean, I like Michael Wilbon. I think he's a very good journalist. He has some weird opinions, but I mean,
NBA on TNT is so much better than NBA.
It's a fun show. It's a fun show. But anywho.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
Let's get into
Gray
some
and Laps,
stuff.
my goat. He never calls me a goat. He always just sucks up to the other people that aren't me. God damn it. The reason that show is good is because they talk about the topic but aren't afraid of being themselves and joking. Yeah, that's the thing is NBA on ESPN feels like they're doing it too corporate. Like, if you guys don't know what I'm saying.
NBA on ESPN has a constituent talk about two teams. So that's what they do.
And one topic.
Where the other guys, they like basketball. So they talk about basketball.
That's true. Yeah. So you have basically
they've been with each other for so long. I mean, I was watching that show. I remember when I first started watching it, I can't remember his name. It was some black dude that was doing the NBA on TNT, but then Ernie Johnson came in back when he still had hair. This is back before whilst Kenny was, all those guys were still playing. And then they got Kenny, and then they got Charles, and then they got Shaq lader on. That completed the group, which was nice.
I remember back when I first would watch it, because usually after the game's over back in the day, I would just not watch. I remember the one black guy, he would just was smoking a doobie the fucking broadcast. Oh God, man! Back in the day when things used to be a lot more fun, but no, like all they talk about is Lakers and the Warriors. And as you guys know, I'm a Laker fan and I like the Lakers, but God damn, there were much other better storylines they could have been highlighting this year. Like I understand what Charles Barkley was saying. Like so twofold. I could understand why you would only talk about Lakers and Warriors and Celtics.
I don't.
Ratings. If that's what the fans want, then that's what the fans are there for. I can't really argue that. But if you have the OKC and you have the Cleveland Cavaliers just dominating their entire conferences, like, and people are always talking about like, well, we need new faces for the league and we need new teams that can kind of rise up and we need people to be fans of other teams. None of you on NBA were talking about them. They were, guys, these Cavaliers and OKC put up 64 wins in the regular season. OKC went what, like 64 or 15?
So Gray, what have you been into this week,
Oh,
man?
God.
I've never talked to you, so like what did you get into this week?
MSK knows he only gets views when he lets people roast him. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
I don't know what type of stuff
It is what most
into.
people. A lot of
Sinners?
pop culture stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought Sinners was awesome, man. I was able
You
to
liked it? Okay,
take
good,
the lovely wife. Had a great date night at Sinners. I think MSK
nice.
would hate it.
I can't
doesn't
relate
seem
to
like
you
it
on
would be-
that, honestly.
Well, I don't think he'd relate to the movie. You see, it was cinema, so I don't see you enjoying it, MSK.
I prefer
but,
my Fast and
yeah.
Furious movies, honestly. You know,
Yeah,
for
I
the
know.
vroom and
Popcorn
and the
flicks.
cars going fast. Yeah.
What was that? I'm like very out of the loop of like movies and stuff. What was it? Like I know nothing about it. So
So it's Ryan Coogler. It's his latest one. It's actually an original flick, but he's the dude who did Fruitville Station, Creed,
Okay, yeah. I know Creed.
Black Panther. But yeah, he just did this new one, and it's the trailer doesn't give too much away, so I'm not trying to. Everyone was kind of billing it as like a From Dusk Till Dawn version. You see that there's vampires, and there happens to be like an establishment. So instantly you're
okay.
going to think like vampire.
My wife will
bars.
love that then. So there
It's much more of a slow burn. A lot of what they show you in the trailer is kind of third act stuff, but it's really awesome. So far, I think it's probably my favorite film of the year.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
That's good. A lot of people have said it's one of the best movies of the year, and people for movies that come out nowadays like to use that, kind of caveat of like, but given that everything else is bad, does that make this better? And it's like, you know what? I'll just take good movies if they come out. If they're good, that's fine. I don't even care about prior context.
Yeah, I don't look at it that way either. I don't have the whole like, one of the things that I get really, me and him have argued about this so much. Like I'm a person, I do want my comic book movies to be comic book accurate, right? But
for sure.
But I don't look at it as if they cast another race of person into it, right? How that makes it worse or better. Everybody will harp on that one issue, right? But forgetting that the writing of the movie was terrible. As if they just placed some white dude in there. It's like, we've done it. We fixed it. We fixed everything. Like,
yeah, I could care less about the race swaps. I hope that they understand the like heart of the character and they can get like the characterization. There's this really long book series that Amazon has adapted over like the last, well, I guess since COVID, but Wheel of Time. Man, I could care less about all the race swaps that they did, but they just do not understand any of the characters. So it sucks.
I have every version of the Wheel of Time.
Oh yes,
I have first, second, third editions of that whole series.
It just sucks, man. Like
it's
Karen
a terrible
and Matt,
series.
they have done so dirty.
Oh god.
And this season had the best of what they were able to do, and it's just nowhere near the books.
Dude,
but
that last
people
episode,
are actually going to talk about it now.
That last episode was one of the biggest abominations. my brother
the Aiel Waste one, man, the one where they go to Ruidian.
Dude, where they go to Ruidian.
It's
even
not the
with
worst.
The changes, I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
I thought it was cool. Even with the changes, I thought it was fine. But freaking, my brother calls me because I got him into the books, and he was like, "Dude, did you see the Catman genie?"
Come on, it's the Eilfin. Yeah,
I was like, yeah. Was it Eilfin? Like they just loosely play with it, even though it's very important. Yeah, I love that series.
Same. I'm glad that people actually know what it is now, but it just sucks they're going to relate it to that.
I know.
I guess it's
terrible. I love the books. I mean, I started reading them in like I think it was when Shadow Rising came out.
Oh, hell yeah. I was
I-
way late to it. They were already out by the time I read them, but
Oh
man.
yeah, I
good times.
had some friends that were really into fantasy books, and that was like one of the first fantasy series that I read. And then I started reading Malazan, which was awesome.
Nice.
It was really good, but it was like I don't know if you've read that at all or know about it.
I didn't finish it. I know a lot about it, but I only did like the first 3 or 4.
I just didn't know like that books would that the world was the character instead of the actual characters, because they changed every book. And I was
Yeah.
like, it was hard for me to do, but whenever they get to the last 2 and they bring everything together, I was like, oh, this is freaking incredible. So I
would
very
like
much
to go
enjoyed it.
back and finish that one day, because I definitely haven't finished that one.
He's what Steven Erikson is one of those guys that write sentences that you wish you could write, you know, where you're just like, oh, that sounds so nice. It's worked very well.
MSK wouldn't know about that.
Well, he's a top Riz G guy or whatever.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Power bottom G. But either way.
Top Grizz and master of some stuff.
See, now you're just fucking with me. Oh my god.
Well, I was trying to read what it says there, but you know, since I'm old, I can only see like 2 feet in front of my face.
You need your glasses, old man.
Hey,
Actually,
readers.
Yes,
You
I
should
do.
have reading glasses. Oh my god.
These are just my regular glasses to see.
Damn, we're gonna have to wheel this man out
well,
of
the
his
reason
house.
why I don't wear them is, look, if I look at the thing, like,
Yeah.
you know, that's the reason why I don't wear them. So most of the time when I'm looking at the screen, all I see is like a buckwheatish hair and stuff all over the place. That's
I mean,
all
to be
I-
fair, that's kind of what we usually see when we look at MSK. So I get it. Not far off.
MSK can't read, and you're right. He is a power bottom. That's not true. If we ever had sex, I would be on the top, and I would destroy you. That's kind of how it would work.
Jesus Christ! What? Why would you make? Why would you say if we ever had sex? Like,
yeah, who was that to?
Person. Yeah.
It obviously would be to the
Was
woman.
that to
because I'm
her?
not
Was
a-
that to us?
It obviously would be to the woman because I'm not a homosexual. Obviously.
Yeah, but still, is that like that's
say
like
that.
what you say to girls?
Yeah, she wants to have her hair pulled and have her ass clapped. That's what I would do. You know, typical black
So
guy stuff with
anyway-
white girls.
I mean, not
So anyway-
not you, but
Good lord, man. This is not
Yeah.
true. This is cap. This is just straight up cap.
Oh, he said cap. Oh God. Oh dear Lord. You just have let's just make up words because you know we have to have other meanings for them. That's cap.
Yeah, that is bullshit. Obviously.
There you go. Because that
Yeah.
that one doesn't work.
Yeah, why can't I have
The old-
variations
The
of
old,
words?
the old
when I'm a
tried and
smart
true
human?
just doesn't work. We got to put new shit in.
Yeah, how about you try? You gotta evolve with the times, man. You gotta
Oh,
become
do
more
you?
modern.
Do you?
Yeah,
Do you?
men can be
You gotta
women
be
now.
more
Have you heard
modern?
it?
Then
Yeah.
how come all your opinions on shit are old?
Men can be women now. Just
Derp.
saying.
Derp.
If you don't believe men are women, then you're a bigot.
so you allow it?
I didn't say that. I just said that's what people think. I don't agree with it.
That I will allow it.
Yeah. For me, this is how I see things when it comes to that kind of stuff. I don't like race swaps in
Poorly?
general because they're already red flags. If the studio isn't going to even respect the character to cast someone that looks like the character, then I couldn't possibly believe you could write a good story. Like those kind of things go hand in hand for me. Could they be both?
I don't see
simultaneous-
how.
I don't know. If you're already making bad decisions up front, I don't know how the writing could end up ever being good. You know, but I could always be wrong. The writing could be good, but the
here's the
castings are
thing.
bad.
Here's
I don't think you say.
all right.
I don't think you
Go
need to say could. Just stay. I am wrong. MSK. That's all you need to say.
It's always a possibility, but I'm not going. I'm just
I'm
making
just gonna say, like, if
prediction.
if like you have a character, right, and let's say it's an established character, okay.
Mhm.
If the race is not what the character is about, like Jim Gordon, okay, like I personally don't care because I read Jim Gordon as a white guy means like if he's black. That automatically means, well, this movie has made bad decisions, number one, right off the bat, because they cast the person whose race matters absolutely nothing to his character. Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing he did was out of being white.
But if it
What
didn't
did
matter,
he do that was so
Thing.
white?
But if the race doesn't matter, then there's no point in changing it, though, right?
Listen to what I'm saying, though. Me personally, yes. Do I want my comic book movies to be comic book
Yes.
accurate? 100%. But if there's a character such as a Jim Gordon or someone else whose race really doesn't matter what their character is about, it doesn't matter.
But Jim Gordon is also part of a comic book, which is what you said you wanted to be accurate.
I said, yes, I would like it to be accurate.
Yes.
But if that is not happening, I don't think that because they casted that person, that the story itself is not going to be good.
But I'm just saying, if there are bad red flags up front, I'm just gonna start questioning things. That's just how I am as a person. You know?
I don't look at that as a red flag, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, me personally, I just don't.
What would you consider possibly a red flag then?
When I go see the movie and I think it sucks.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't care what happens before then.
The white rage is coming out. We're getting
I don't care. I don't sit on the internet and going like, they cast Snape as a black guy.
You didn't like the casting either.
You're getting into MSK's bread and butter there. That was last week.
It's doomed to fail. I don't care. When it comes out, what happens if it comes out, right? And it's the greatest thing ever.
That'll be subjective.
They'll change his
anyway.
tune.
Okay, but I'm saying, what happens if it does? Right?
No.
Okay, but then here's the problem. If it comes out and it sucks, that's the first thing people talk about. When it's like, dude, if you inserted white person into it, it wouldn't have fixed it because it sucked.
Yeah, but those are like conflating two different things. Both can be very bad things.
No, they're not. No. Because
Why
I see
can't
it all
this
the
be
time.
bad and this be bad too? It doesn't have to be a one-way street.
Because the one, right? The casting does not change the story.
Also, getting an accurate description of the character is a good thing. That's not a bad thing to ask for.
Okay, does that change the script?
Doesn't
Do they
matter.
go, okay,
It's part of the story.
okay,
The way the
so
character should
now
look.
that he is white, he no longer can say brother. And he can no longer say this. These are all things that'll make this movie better. Like, get out of here, dude.
If the story said this character looks like this, and I don't get that, I'll be angry. Right?
That's unbelievably ridiculous. To me, it is.
That's crazy.
But dude,
it's like, okay, we'll use Naruto, for example. They're going to make a Naruto live action movie. Naruto, obviously in anime, let's be honest here, just a caveat. You can't really make any person in anime look realistic. I will fully admit to that.
Okay.
If they casted Jaden Smith to play Naruto, you don't think that would be like a red flag?
Once again, what did I say I
think Jaden's aged out.
But does his race? It's Japanese, so it would need Japanese culture. Like I said.
So if they casted a black guy, that would be very like, okay.
That would be, yes, because the culture is Japanese.
Yeah.
Well, I already said this. But if the character's race is not significant to the character, it doesn't bother me. If it is, then yes, of course, that is stupid. But Jim Gordon, like I used the example of, it doesn't matter. He's been black, he's been white, he's been this, he's been that. It doesn't matter.
If you allow
MSK, you learned the word fallacy? What was that fallacy that you called out?
If you use it for one of the characters, then it has to apply for the other ones. That's why I don't like that, because I'd rather it just be a consistent thing through across the board. That's what I'm saying.
I think it should be more like if the race and culture are a prominent thing of that said character, then yes, you should get it right. But if fucking Donkey Doris over here is fucking Chinese, what do I care?
Donkey Doris, what did he do to you?
Exactly. He did nothing to me. Therefore, I don't care what he is.
Good Lord. You are such a white guy in your old age. Good Lord.
I'm just saying, dude, like, I can't. Maybe it's like there's a separatist group of people that think like that. But I've noticed for me getting older in age, I don't give a flying fuck about that shit anymore. I just want it to be good. And if it's good,
that's what I'm asking you. It's good. That itself, it'll be good.
That doesn't make it bad to me.
No, but that itself is going to be a subjective thing no matter what it is, because it can still come out the way you want and still not be good or bad. It's going to be a
100%
case by case basis thing.
MSK, were you totally pissed off when Michael Clark Duncan was Kingpin? To me, it totally worked. He hit the awesome physical aspects of it. I wanted to see more of it. He was way better than Affleck.
He was like one of the only good things in that movie.
I'm just saying, when they casted Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, I think No,
He's
let's say,
small though.
See,
like
but you're not-
I think
see, no,
Michael
wait,
Clark
all right.
Duncan was way more intimidating. Sorry, that's all I was going to say.
No,
that's because
no.
he's 6 foot tall and
But
he's
do
a
you see
giant.
what he does? Do you see what he does? He doesn't answer what you say. He goes, well, when they cast Vincent D'Onofrio, this. Answer the question of
Yeah,
what he
wait,
said.
Vincent D'Onofrio looked like Kingpin and portrayed him completely fine.
That's not what he asked you.
I'd rather have an accurate description of what the character looks like, because they proved they can just give you an accurate description of what they look like, and the character can be portrayed good, right?
And he was awesome. Wasn't he awesome in the D plus
I
stuff?
loved
Wasn't
him
he
in it.
great in Echo? Oh man, Vincent D'Onofrio was so good in Echo, dude.
Hey,
Oh,
he was
man.
a good.
Dude,
He himself
listen,
is fine. The rest of the show was pretty bad.
When he
You
got
watched
on
Echo?
screen, dude,
You actually watched. You're insane.
when he got on screen in Echo, I cried because I was
No.
like, look how comic book accurate he is.
Better than looking at Michael Clark Duncan.
I
She
thought
looks
Michael
like
Clark
Kingpin.
Duncan was fucking awesome.
Yeah, he acted. I'm not saying that he didn't act fine. I'm saying that they can cast someone that looks like the character, and you can get a good actor out of it too. It's not mutually exclusive,
You
right?
can. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can. But what I'm saying is that it doesn't disclude the great performance that we were given in what was otherwise not a
No,
great movie.
I'm not saying that just because they race up someone that.
Well,
they're
yes,
not
you
gonna give a good-
are.
No,
Yes, you are.
I'm not saying that just because you race someone that you can't get a good performance. I didn't say that. I'm just saying that you can do the accurate casting and get a good acting performance out of it too. Because you should be hiring a good actor no matter what. That should just go without saying. You know.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's what I'm saying. Like, if there are things in the character that is main, like I look at like culture and race, because like there's many different things in culture that are different. So the character would act that way. But if it's just a fucking who cares character,
So if they
doesn't
casted a black
bother
guy
me.
as a predator, would that be accurate?
Oh my god, dude. What, for like the Predator movies?
Yeah.
Or do you mean like a child predator? I don't know what you mean.
That second one I'm not tackling. But the first one of the movies was what I was going to.
Well, it's an alien, so it would be in makeup, so I don't think it would matter.
Oh God! But black people do kind of look like predators, to be honest. Here,
See, like, where are you going with this?
I'm just,
Where-
you
Hashtag
set me
not
up for a
all
layup,
MSK.
and I was just
Come
ready
on.
to dunk it in. Honestly,
What? You're the one that set that up. You're the one that
What?
asked me the question.
oh
You
my God!
asked
Now
me.
you're gaslighting me. Oh my
Am I
God!
gaslighting him, or chat? Did he ask me the
Oh my
question?
goodness. See, Gray agrees with me. I have trophies over here. I take dubs. Hashtag dub.
Know what that
nation.
says? You have trouble reading. If you look at the one a little bit above, it says for every W that Lapsed gets, he acquires a new action figure. And I was just pointing out, those are all the trophies of all the times MSK has taken an L.
What in the world? What's going on here?
He's trying to read it and act like he's doing something else.
What state do you live? You live in Virginia, right?
No, West Virginia.
Okay, good.
I
There
live
was
I live right outside, like right outside of Pittsburgh in the Allegheny Mountains, like part of Appalachia.
Oh my God! There was a brutal stabbing in Virginia. I was on. Glad you didn't go outside. Just to say
Yeah,
that.
because whew,
I mean,
I'm
the last person you went
I'm a
close
very
one.
stab-worthy person.
No, you had the guy. I can't believe you said there was a fat guy with overalls walking up to you eating frozen hot dogs. That's just disgusting.
What I just listen, he didn't walk up to me. He was already in line. I didn't know he was behind me. That's the man that was breathing on my neck. And that's when I turned around and I was like, what the fuck?
Good Lord.
Sounds like he's giving MSK vibes.
We should review the Vampire Diaries and the originals. I watched the originals. I thought it was very good, honestly. Vampire Diaries.
I've never seen the Vampire Diaries, but I know my wife watched one of them. What, she liked one and didn't like the other. I'd have to ask her.
Vampire Diaries gets a little bit weaker as the seasons go on.
I'm terrible when it comes to like TV and stuff like that. I mean, I admittedly am like, I think that's another reason why the stuff doesn't bother me as much. Because I'll admit fully, I don't watch nearly as many movies and television shows like as other people do. Something that I might have read or something, and then I want to see what it's like. You know, like I'll do that. But most of the time, if it's a movie or something, unless it's like I'm taking my kid to see something, it's usually my wife's like, "Hey, let's go out. I want to see a movie," and I'm like, "Okay."
Are you watching Thunderbolts when it comes out?
I don't know. I would like there to be some Thunderbolts in the Thunderbolts movie.
It's in title alone.
Well, I mean, look, it might be fun. I don't know.
Because you went and watched Brave New World. I remember that.
Yes, I went and saw that with my buddy John. Yes.
Ooh,
And I didn't have here's the thing though, I didn't have as bad a time as everybody else did. Like when I watched some of the reviews that people were talking about, I was like, that's the stuff that you thought was bad? I was like, there was all this other stuff that I thought was really bad about the movie, but not that. But for an action movie, like I was just like, oh, this is cool. He's doing crazy. Like people were like, oh my God, he surfed on a missile. And I'm like, that's what he would do in a comic book.
That's the one I was like, people were criticizing that. I was like, that's dumb. That's just kind of stupid. Like, what? Yeah, like for me, Brave New World, I didn't walk out hating it or hating my time. I was like, this is just kind of meh and just really average, honestly. But pretty sure
you enjoyed the time though, right? When you brought your ex-girlfriend and her boyfriend.
I brought my wife to Brave New World with her boyfriend, and then we all had a good time. Hey,
you third wheel the experience.
Great Klaus. You know, like usually when I watch the Vampire Diaries in the originals, I watch because there were so many hot dudes and hot ladies, and I was mostly always focusing on the hot ladies.
We got you.
So they were pretty good looking.
Great,
you know.
I've done this on his show before, so I want to do this while you're here. You know how like with the comic book argument, right? I hear all this stuff about comic book accurate and all this stuff, and you've seen shows and some people that he likes and all this stuff. So, and all the old comics are so much better. And I've shown this because I have all 6 of these issues, and I'm like, yes, when Captain America and Thor decided to fight bread dough for 6 issues, I want that movie.
I want the Capwolf movie. Like, come on, there's so many fun ways that you can explore like that. All right, so I haven't read the Doe ones, but come on, Captain America's a werewolf. It's time we got some freaky Cap.
I just use that as an example because I have so many old comics, and I'm like you know, like they weren't all that great. Not all of them. There's a lot of good ones.
X-Men is the one where it was a fledgling line for so long that they were just reprinting a bunch of issues. They weren't even printing new stories until Chris Claremont and the giant size X-Men came along.
Yeah,
no one would even remember that at this point.
It was like 16 or 17 issues that they just because like back then you got subscriptions and they would send them like in the little folders to your house, and you had a subscription to X-Men. What they did, it got canceled basically. After I can't remember, it was like issue 60 or something. And they started sending reprints from number 1 all the way up to, and then Chris Claremont took over with giant size X-Men, retooled the team, and was on it for like 20 something years.
Dude, it's crazy that basically Stan Lee and Jack Kirby made so much good stuff, but it was the X-Men that's the one that didn't initially hit. That's crazy to think
here's
about.
The thing though, they made a lot of things that are iconic now but didn't hit. I mean, look at what people don't remember. The Avengers. How did the Avengers get together? They needed a team because the Justice League was so popular. They took a bunch of books that were failing as singular books and put them as a team. It happened to hit off.
Yeah,
right.
If people don't remember, Iron Man first appears in Tales of Suspense, but then they gave him an ongoing series that didn't really go anywhere, and a lot of them had that too.
He was like a C-list character for a while. And and people get mad at saying that, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's, you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that happening.
That one person got really mad at us for dogging on Wonder Woman. Remember?
Right, correct.
Like, I remember how we were doing that one show, and that one person got mad at us for dogging on Wonder. I was like, dude.
It was, you said that you thought Wonder Woman worked better in a team environment, and that's what they got. And I agreed with you. And I said that, I have the George Perez. I got the first volume. I've been reading that, and it's awesome. The Wonder Woman story. And the War of the Gods and stuff. That's really good. I haven't been. That's not a character that I read a lot of. As much DC as I have, I just haven't read a lot of it. And I have like Earth One, the Grant Morrison, which is cool, but like, out of 850 issues or something like that, there's not a lot of things.
We can ask you this then.
that
what
I've been
about-
said, someone goes, you got to read this. George
Yeah.
Perez is the one that everybody says you got to go read. So I went out and got
Or even
got it.
like the DC animated stuff. Like whenever I saw Diana, I was like, okay, she's cool around the guys. She's
Dude,
cool
her
around
first
the team.
movie is awesome. The DC animated. The first Wonder Woman
First
movie
one was
I
good.
thought
Yeah.
was so awesome. The Bloodline or whatever
Mhm.
that is, the second one, I didn't think was as good. But if you're out there, guys, and you got HBO Max or if it's on there, look for the first Wonder Woman movie.
animated
It is
movie, really good.
badass. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
But that's the thing is like I like her as a character, but I feel like she kind of clout chases off of Batman and Superman's highs. Like Flash to me is a better character. Barry or
on.
Wally.
There's no Catwoman.
I think like Hal or John are better characters for Green Lantern. I think Dick Grayson's a better character. Tim Drake's a better
Yeah,
character.
but you've
from the Chuck
always
Dixon
been into
run.
Dick.
I love Dick. Dick is my God.
I
Dick's my favorite
like
pastime.
Catwoman a lot. I even went out and bought her.
She's
you know,
technically more
single run
interesting.
Movie.
That
This
movie's
was a
terrible.
movie,
That's a
and I
ass
wanted
movie.
it to be good.
That's a
I was
ass
so
movie.
like I wanted it
Oh,
to be
dude,
awesome.
didn't you like the reveal? It was like Cheetah, but she got really big, and she's from the Young Justice show. Such a twist.
I wanted it to be good. Like
She deserves something good.
right, exactly. And they did some stuff with the Catwoman Batman war that I thought some issues were good. A lot of people didn't like it, but I was like, look, they're giving shine to a character that's been integral because Catwoman was around before Joker. Catwoman was a
She's one of the OGs.
yeah, if I do that Bat Bits thing, I think she was like in issue like 6 or 7. She was like she wasn't as Catwoman yet, but she was a woman that went to try to steal some diamonds. That's how all the old issues were. Like someone was stealing some diamond or jewels or something, and it was on a cruise boat, and he let her get away because they already started that attraction even back then. So I mean, like that's she's been around for a very long time, and she deserves, like in my opinion, to have something done where they take the care like they do for the other characters.
Do you know what I never could even possibly get online with for a thought process was when DC fans said, well, Superman gets nothing. Guys, Superman has gotten plenty of stuff. Multiple live action TV shows, not as many movies as Batman, arguably, but he has plenty of live action TV shows, plenty of animated movies. He gets his fair share. He got a lot of stuff. Like Green Lantern at one point got nothing. Nothing.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Man.
I feel like I'm talking too much, so I'm gonna let Gray talk.
What?
So.
Greg,
That's how you do things. You let the other people talk. I feel like
Oh
I've
my
said
God.
way
How
too
MSK
much.
doesn't do that?
I don't let
Well,
Gray talk.
I
He's my enemy. I'm just kidding.
Well, it does make less L's come out of your stream if you are talking less, MSK. But yeah, no, I agree a lot with what Laps is saying.
Not with me.
I wish there was something awesome for never with you, sir. I'm not on your side. But yeah, I wish there was something awesome for Catwoman. It seems like there's something there, but man, we keep getting like I don't know, Halle Berry type stuff. Like we need something better than that. I feel like there's a lot of those characters, but I do have a question for you, Laps. So you were mentioning like a few other ones were like sea level. Do you think like a lot of these current ones that are seeing like a top tier or whatever, like Thor, for instance, like do you think he was ever A level before like the MCU like really kicked off?
So being personal, I don't have as much comic book knowledge on Marvel as I do DC, but I can say that Thor was, when he first started, I know for a fact that they put a lot of care into him. I don't know like how it sold or, but I do know that he was in that first Avengers team and they were taking all those characters that those books were not doing well. So I don't know how long from his first book to when the Avengers came out to, but I don't know if he was an A tier character. Like, I don't know. He might have been like a B or a C possibly, but
I just remember people getting mocked for like being into Thor and like I'm trying to think of like anything prior that they really had him in. I guess like Adventures in Babysitting, they had like the allusion to Thor, but
he would always come
was
up
still
in
seen as
some
like the nerdy thing.
Adventures in Babysitting was
he would always come up in some annuals. That's what I remember. But
yeah,
right.
But
I know like a couple of the shows, like because there was like cartoons back in the night, like Iron Man had one, the
Mhm.
Fantastic Four had one,
Yep.
and
Mhm.
I know he came in on one of them. I can't remember, but I remember seeing Thor animated before that, and I think the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, that cartoon, did a lot for certain characters because it was widely seen and a lot of people had watched it. And like I said before, then I'm not sure before the MCU. I don't know because I don't read nearly as much Marvel as I do. I'm trying to. I'm trying to get back into Marvel and get a lot of the back stuff, but I don't know nearly as much.
You're good. Because I remember the original Avengers team was Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, and Wasp. Wasp was a part of the original team. I remember actually.
Well, she was the leader.
She even
Of,
coined the name for the team. I remember. I think right. That's the thing.
Quite a
yeah, it
tragic
was
downfall.
like Hank Pym and his wife. They were the leaders of the
Yeah.
Avengers.
Because in the MCU, I forget they use Scott Lang, Ant-Man. I forget sometimes. Why did he ever get a chance to suit up and become Ant-Man? That's so weird. Now you look back at this point, crazy.
Who, Michael Douglas?
Yeah, he never got a chance. We never got a chance to see Hank Pym become Ant-Man.
He's in like his 60s or 70s now. That could be a reason.
Man, they didn't give Wasp anything to do in Ant-Man 3. It felt like she was just there existing.
Well, I mean, Ant-Man 3 was kind of like, I never, the one thing I did know, because the Kang, them trying to make Kang like the big bad was just, it would have had to been all original type stories, because I could tell you that if you go out and buy like the Epic Collection of the Avengers with Kang, like those like 14, 15 books, Kang was like one of those things that you brought in every 5 years. The amount of information that we learned from Kang spread through those, like that Epic Collection was over like 50 years. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like you had like this ongoing series. Kang would come, that was it for then, and then he would go away. But it was never like a Galactus type thing where you knew if Galactus was coming in, something was changing in comics. Kind of like Darkseid or something like that from DC.
Good Lord. Because the Fantastic Four movie dropped a new trailer. I didn't get a chance to see it yet, but did you end up checking it out?
Yeah.
Like it?
I'm just not, for me personally, I'm not sold on dude as Reed Richards. Just because
Pedro Pascal,
that is one book, one team that I have read a lot of.
Fair enough.
And I've read a lot of, he just doesn't scream Reed or smartest man in the world. But like I said,
I hear you.
I haven't seen the writing, like I haven't seen it, and I don't know how they're gonna write him.
Yeah.
So we'll have to.
I also have no clue where they're going with it, but man, I was not sold as him as Joel in Last of Us, and he's showing more range with that than I've seen out of him. He doesn't come off as like that goofy Pedro Pascal character. So I don't know, man. I got some hope for it, and everybody else. Eben Moss Bacharach, I think he could do an awesome thing. I'm digging the dude that they've got as Human Torch. Now I'm blanking on his name, but Eddie from Stranger Things.
Yeah, he played from the Stranger Things show, right? He was the heavy.
Yeah, he was also in. Yes, he also did a really like subdued performance in A Quiet Place Day One. He was the not Lupita Nyong'o.
That's The Quiet Place. That's with Krasinski. Is that
This is the one that didn't have him. Instead, it was Lupita Nyong'o.
It was the next movie. Okay.
But
the same
guys,
though, right?
I think these actors could do it, but I have no clue what they're doing with this thing. Like, it's obviously got to be like an alternate universe, and then somehow it merges.
That's an alternate universe.
That's what I believe. So I believe from what I've heard from, like I said, I usually don't go and look for things on movies, but I did see one of the panels, and it's supposed to be an alternate universe, takes place in the 60s, I believe.
Yes, true.
So like all the future tech. So from what I think they're going to do is this has to lead to the Doctor Doom, and then they're going to do Secret Wars. Battle World is going to be where you get like where the mutants are, whatever world they're in, our heroes, the Fantastic Four, what other teams, that's what Battle World is going to be comprised of, and that's how they all get together.
That makes sense, but I think they're doing one before that. So I
Right,
think
the
they're
Doom
introducing
thing, right?
everybody. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how they're going to get
Well,
there. But I
yeah,
agree with you. It seems like
so
Battle World would be an easy way to merge everything. But
it would make
it's like 3
sense.
movies away.
Right. It is. It is. I mean, they got to do something, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
I was not in
There's
the one thing that I just didn't care for with the Captain America movie was making the celestial the birth of adamantium because
no.
I feel like you know what I
But
mean.
come
If
on,
I
this will lead to Wolverine. Yeah, I didn't like that too.
I just felt that that was too much of a like. It felt like we didn't have enough in this movie, so we're just kind of adding this in, and it felt like that was the entanglement that they tried to make them all fight around, as opposed to a giant freaking red Hulk, which should have hulked out in the goddamn submarine scene.
Well, it
That would
kind
have
of
added
solves
stakes to
one
the
issue
movie.
for them
Yeah.
though, because
Mhm.
they have this dead celestial in like the middle of the world, so they've got to address it at some point. They went like 4 movies without doing it.
No,
So
yes, they did definitely have to address
finally,
it.
they addressed Tiamat, but yeah, I don't know. There's rumors of another like secret X-Men movie coming out, and I don't know. I'm not sure if they're gonna do that shit or not. But
I,
it does seem like everything will come together on Battleworld.
I hope so. And I mean, if they stick close to the Hickman one, I liked the 2015 Secret Wars way better than the 84 one.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
did,
they've each got moments, but I think I like Hickman's better.
yeah, because I read the Hickman's Fantastic Four, which led into his Avengers, which led into Secret Wars. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was really well. That might be one of my favorite Avengers runs of all time. I
I
just like the
completely
whole
agree.
incursions and all that. It was just really fun. It was
Which
really
they're
fun.
using a bunch of those terms, and then they're getting like players on board. So I'm not sure if they're going to do like a half-assed Hickman version, but I don't know.
Well,
But
I
then
mean,
again, like the Deadpool movie used like a ton of that stuff, so I don't know, because
and I
I
mean,
also heard rumors that they were going to make Cassandra Nova essentially. Well, they were essentially going to do Battle World, and they kind of did in that one in a weird way.
they did, but like Cassandra Nova, I was surprised they did Cassandra Nova, to be honest.
Yeah, like
And,
nobody is
yeah,
most nobody is aware of her, but
right.
interesting
And
way of
she's
doing
so
it.
powerful. So it's like, you know, I, it was fun. I liked it. I could say I liked it whenever I watched it. Me and my wife went and we had fun. I liked it. It was
You watch
definitely,
stuff with your wife?
yeah, we hang. She's my best friend. We hang out all the
Good
time.
leave. I can't relate to that, man. I just fucking can't relate to that dude. Goodness gracious.
Well, yeah, because you don't have a girl or a wife.
Damn.
Well, you
What
just said you can't relate to it.
What a spirit of my heart. I'm gonna go outside and cry now. I'm just kidding. Oh god, no, it's I just want to know what are their plans after Secret Wars? I feel like there's nothing there except
Well,
they were
that's
just
when you
gonna
get a
do the
rebooted,
X-Men.
sir. No,
Soft
they
reboot.
mentioned that's when they're doing the
Exactly.
reboot.
Soft, like my wife likes it. Wow.
So, yeah, that's what That's what they did in actual Marvel comics. I mean, they did the soft reboot. And that's when we
Yeah,
got what the all new, all different. Isn't that what that happened after that?
I'm assuming we're doing something, or they're doing something like that with the MCU. I don't know why I'm taking any responsibility for it. They didn't console me on anything. I swear.
I feel like it's gonna
like when people talk about their favorite football team or something. We're playing this Wednesday. I'm like, oh, are you?
Yeah, this is not my team. I'm not rooting. Well, I'm not rooting against them, but
Yeah.
so far I don't think they're playing a great game.
Yeah, because this is the thing. Is like I don't think Doomsday or Secret Wars is going to be bad Avengers movies. I think like we're going to be in the same position that we were in with Phase 4 and 5, where they're going to start scrambling for another idea because we know the idea is X-Men, but it's like, what do you mean by that? X-Men are going to be the new face of the MCU? Like, I'm not really too sure where we're going to be going with it. Because there's many different ways they can take the X-Men. There's a lot of different paths, but given their recent track record, I do not know if they can do the X-Men some justice. But I could be wrong, But I usually never am because I'm a genius and I'm, essentially like a 200 IQ human being. That's what my IQ is. Honestly, I'm very, very intelligent. I could be a philosopher and write scripture.
To change subject very much, I finally read the Rook Exodus trade. This was awesome. I'm very happy
that's
with
good.
that.
Good.
Very happy. And I got the first, I think it's like 12 issues or 13 issues of Red Coat. So I'm kind of excited about that. And I bought all 5 issues of Hyde Street.
Can't wait. Wait, I forgot they haven't did the issue 7 for Rook Exodus yet. They're still on their hiatus right now currently.
No, I think it starts in July or something like that.
Happy,
but it was awesome.
Here.
It was awesome.
Dang. Reading comic books, guys, makes life happy.
It does. For me, it does. I mean, you know, but
my favorite hobby. I love buying them. I love reading them. I love talking about them too. Because
I mean, look, dude, a good night for me is whenever I'm done and we put the littlest one to bed, because you know we had to do 3 of them for 18 years until they left the house. So, like, you know, I got another one.
Protection plan.
Got another one, which was a joyous occasion.
Can you just wrap it up? Oh my God.
When we put him to bed and my wife's watching TV or doing whatever she does, and I get to lay in bed and just hang out and read my comic books while she's watching TV. That's a good night for me.
That's great. You know,
it does not sound like a bad night.
No, not at all. Just sitting down and chilling, you know, have a great life. Thinking about coming back from the meetup, I was thinking like, damn, I really have everything I could ever ask for. I can get comic books whenever I want to.
TV.
Yeah, that's gonna happen eventually. I can get all the comic books I want to. I have the equipment to do YouTube content consistently on. Podcast just gets to have episodes in it every single week. You know, my life is great.
But what do you sleep on?
I sleep on a bed.
Okay.
It's made of cardboard boxes, but he calls it a bed.
I have a couch. Does that count?
He's got a bunch of that, like that packing like plastic with the snaps on it, like that.
The packing wrap they put the comic books in when you're shipping them. Oh my God, I'm not like that, guys. No, that's pretty much for the most part. You know, James Gunn's Superman. I know people wanted me to watch the behind the scenes thing to it. The thing with Superman that I'm cautious of right now is this is a movie that I kind of want to know very little about going in. I've read James Gunn's interviews. I think he understands Superman very well. There was a rap interview that he gave to that outlet a while ago when it was going to be called Superman Legacy.
I wouldn't worry. If your track record has anything to do with this, I'm pretty sure you'll be pretty uninformed about it.
Yeah, I've only seen the teaser trailer. I've only seen the first teaser trailer. So they haven't dropped an official trailer, but I feel like after like the next trailer, they should just kind of stop doing trailers because they would just spoil too much about the movie. Just one more trailer, that's it, and don't have the trailer be 3 minutes. Give me like a good 2 minutes. That's it, honestly.
Well, they already did the like 5-minute chunk or whatever that was released with the Minecraft movie. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like we have enough. I don't know.
That's probably enough at this point.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the movie.
Yeah, I've got way more confidence in Gunn than I do with MCU at this point. I trust that dude after Creature Commandos. He made me care for things I shouldn't care about. So
that's what you should do.
I'm on board.
Yeah. See, why can't you just care about me the way you care about Creature Commandos?
I mean, show some heart and I might. I'm just saying, that robot, man, he had a goal of killing Nazis, but you know, I loved him anyway.
We're going to be doing one thing only.
It's funny because I started watching it and my wife was like, "Ooh, can we watch this together?" So I still have, because she's the one that watches things. So I'm like, got, you know, nothing to watch, and I'm like, "Can we watch this, please?" And so I'll get there at some point. But I saw the first episode and I enjoyed it, so hopefully she'll say soon, "Let's watch this."
Oh yeah, I hope you get to. I'd be interested in your opinion since you definitely know DC a little bit more. But
yeah, I was happy.
I was not excited when I heard about it, but dude, I love that show.
I could tell you the same thing. I was not happy, like not displeased, but I was like, Creature Command. I was like, okay, I've only seen a couple of their comics, and I was just like, all right, whatever, you know. And like when
then you hear that it's now I'm forgetting her name, but Waller again, and it's like, okay, and Waller's got a team. Right. Really? Do we need this again? That's what you're going to launch this off of, is just another one of those movies?
You guys in the shows do not know that whole Waller thing you despise in the comic books is they just got over their little Amanda Waller phase a while ago. Amanda Waller was in everything, and she was a big bad for everything. Man.
She was. I read all of it, remember?
Yeah, there was the thing about Amanda Waller is it's the movies are going through the same thing the comic books did. Amanda Waller just got technically retired right now from being the main villain. She was literally the main villain for everything for a while. It's like, God damn, I like her, but
Well, yeah,
stop
through
shoving her
Dawn
into
of
everything.
DC. At the
God.
end of Dark Crisis through Dawn of DC up to All In, she was the big bad. But I can say this, as much as people didn't like All In or Dawn of DC, I could say this. They definitely had a plan. They started it from the end of Dark Crisis, and it went through the middle, and then it went through Absolute Power. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, it was nowhere near as scatterbrained as people said it was. It just there were other things in it that were aside from that
it just
led
didn't
up
hit.
to it that didn't
Yeah.
hit nearly. Like, there was some really good books in there. Like I really, really loved Williamson's Green Arrow. I thought if he would have stayed on that, man, that was awesome. And Green Lantern, I mean, it's still running
That goes
this
without
day. That's
saying.
been
Yeah.
phenomenal, man. I thought that's great. And I was not a fan of Zdarsky's Batman. I
You
read
did
it
not
all.
like that guy.
No,
at
it's not
all.
that I didn't like the guy. It's just there's two things that he just did that it's like it's already been done, right? Grant Morrison had already done it, and it's like I don't like whenever if you bring something back up for a little bit and like pay homage to it, that's fine. But he used it as like this is what Batman is now. This is what he is. And it's like you're already ruined Batman so much. Like, why is everything with Batman? You always have to ruin him. Why can't we just get stories like that we got from the 90s? I know it's not the 90s anymore, but I'm just saying, like, here's the bad guy. Here's your 6 issues. Fight the bad guy. Boom. Move on to the next thing. Move on to the next thing. Throw him in with a Superman, because World's Finest is amazing. That's been a great run. It's up to like issue 38, and it's fantastic.
Someone had brought up the fact that I think a long time ago, I was talking to this guy called the Drink with Crazy, where he was talking about Superman and Batman or whatever, just in a conversational point. And he basically mentioned, like, what can you do with these characters that hasn't been done already, given the fact that they are this old at this point, beside like kind of rehash things that already existed. Because like, what is someone coming on later on that is going to do that has been already done before? And it's like, yeah, that'd be kind of hard, but that requires a decent writer and a decent creative to make different stuff. I don't believe for a second there can't be new stuff that comes along. It all just depends on who you hire. That's really all it boils down to.
I mean, it also depends if you have a continuity team, because you know how hard that would be to, like, what if you came up with an idea? Oh, that's cool, but not every single person has read all 926 issues of Batman. Plus all 1,000 issues of Detective Comics, where he started in issue 27.
Yeah.
And then you got Shadow of the Bat, and you got all these other ones that reached like 300, on top of like, it's probably like 300 to 3,500.
All these like side stories too. Like, Peel Factor, when you go and look up like comic book, like, not solicitations, but what comes in certain like trades or collected editions. You'll have like the main Batman issue, whatever through whatever. Then you'll have like Brave and the Bold, which has appearances from him there, and there's a bunch of other series that has appearances and what character does in that story too. So it's collecting comic books.
It's kind of hard. Like, and I'm not saying that you can't do something new. I think the problem is when they do something new, right? The fans don't give it as much time because they're so used to this being this way, so they're like, oh, this is stupid, I hate this, but they want change. You're dealing with a very fickle group of people, and trust me, I know, because I'm one of them. I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the problem.
Not me, but you are.
I mean, I 100% am, because I want there to be changes to things, but then when they do change, I'm like, and I don't give it as much time as I should. And that was part of me coming back into comics. I went in with a different mindset. I want to read all of the stuff because I just want to have fun reading comics again.
The thing is, I don't disagree with you. I just think that the mindset I generally have is like, we're paying our hard-earned money for this. This is our hobby.
I know, man. Our hard-earned $3.99. That is hard-earned money.
That adds up with each book. This guy's a gaslighting piece of shit clout chaser. I told you guys. I figured
Clout,
them out.
what clout am I chasing exactly?
And obviously, you know, the
Saying
top
he's
G.
got a point. Would you elaborate on the cloud, sir? Describe the cloud.
Oh, I had no
What
point.
did the
I was just
cloud
being a
look like?
liberal. I was just gonna say something with empty promises and then never elaborate. But no, like people that buy comics. I mean, I'll sort of, even if you collect them, I'll even grant you the fact that you might not be even reading them. You could be collecting them. I don't care. Like, people work and they spend their hard-earned money on this stuff, and if you are reading them, I would like my shit to be good. Is that? I've never looked at that as a bad thing. Like, if I'm spending my money on this, I want it to be good. I think that's a fair assessment as a buyer. You know, I get it. Not everything can be good.
Well,
that's understandable. But I would like the average amount of books that I buy to be good. You know, that's all I want.
I understand that. I really do. But I also look at it as, look at the things that whenever we were talking earlier, like in other shows where I was like, you know, I'm not buying that. I'm not buying. I just from that one Superman book, I went out and bought all the issues of Challengers of the Unknown, all the New Gods issues. I went out and bought the Absolute Martian Manhunter, even though the art on the cover looked ridiculous and the art in the actual book was fine. Like, I thought that might be one of my favorite first issues from the Absolute books, period. I took a chance on it, and I was like, because I sat there and I thought to myself, you know, like, if I'm not going to give it a chance, then it's not worth me talking about it. So I went out and gave it a chance. Now I can actually talk about the stuff because I went out and read it. As opposed to just going, well, I don't like the Challenges of the Unknown. I didn't like their old series, so I'm not going to read it. I'm actually enjoying that a lot.
Yeah. Oh, and last night, I do have to give Laps. I don't want to ever thank this clout chasing bastard, but he did do a good solid for me, even though he didn't need to do it. As you guys know, there was a person that threw me a 5-paragraph essay on shit, and I wanted to elaborate on it because I thought about something that he talked to me about after he got off the phone with me yesterday. And I was thinking about this because the thing that really not like ticked me off. Good Lord, that is just for a cover art. Holy God. But the thing that really threw me off, well, I just want to elaborate on a point that I made last week. So, as people know, Oda, the creator of One Piece, now has 1,100 plus chapters in his One Piece series. The reason why I highlighted that to be an impressive achievement in a manga comic book fashion is because Detective Comics and Action Comics basically, you could argue, predate DC. Like, Action Comics #1 predates DC in general, right? So Oda coming along and having way more chapters in his ongoing series than those two books, that is impressive. You know how many years it took him? How many years far back he comes into the line after that? This guy started doing stuff way later on than those books. Yeah, to me, in my personal opinion, that is impressive, and that needs to be highlighted. The fact he was like, but comic books have less people working in it than manga. I do not give a fuck because that's an excuse. Okay, boo-hoo, excuse. Everyone's got excuses. I don't give a fuck. He still managed to do it. That to me is impressive. But
see, that's not the thing that I defended you about, though.
I'm saying, like,
I actually kind of not agree with him. Like, dude, it's manga. It's a completely different structure. I know what you're saying. Yes, that is crazy that those dudes can work like that. It is insane. Same thing. I was reading Naruto when it was coming out. You know,
same here.
Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
It was week to week. The thing that I defended you for was whenever he said that you don't read enough. I don't believe you're reading enough comics daily to have an opinion about them. Well, it's not even that. It's the point of comics are supposed to be fun, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be fun. And I make mistakes all the time. There's times where, like, I said something and it was the wrong information. I had to go back, correct myself, whatever.
Yeah.
But isn't it hard to defend the position that MSK can read?
The 100% it is. It is. It really is. Because our reviews, there are many things that I have to say.
There, I'm just saying, like, I tell people this. I never said I'm the most knowledgeable person. I say I will read stuff when I get to it because obviously, as people know, I'm just a very busy person. I can't get to everything, but I will try to. So whenever you have, like, the comic book market watches, the main point of them, the three things is highlighting, hey, you want to get into comic books? This is a website where you can kind of, track the comic book books that come out for you. And you can go to your comic book shop and pick them up. You don't have to have a pull list. This is stuff that constantly comes out and you didn't know it existed, and go and support your local comic book shop. And if the other thing would be like, hey, you might have had this book on your pull list for a while. You might want to take it off if you're not reading it anymore. It might be on like issue like 19 or whatever. Or if you're a fan of like collected editions or like omnibuses or like epic collections, you want something more collected in a more bigger format where you can get it all at once. It's there for you too. It was never meant to be like, hey, I know everything. I even said in the first episode, I'm not reading everything. That's not the point of what I'm doing this. This is just to inform you, the average blow. The thing you said earlier, the dirt fucker, whatever his name is, Dirt Joe. It's to inform the average Dirt Joe what's going on. That's all I want to be. I just want to be informative.
We get it. We got you. We got you, buddy.
Are you secretly an amalgamation of my life?
So Gray, about the Sinner movie, is that still playing? Is that still in the theaters?
Actually, yeah. It's not gonna be out for a while. It's like
so sorry. I just walked away for a second to grab my sugar gliders. No, yeah, it just came out. It just came out last. Oh, I don't know if you can hear the one is grabbing. It came out last weekend and it made like 60 million in a weekend. So it is the biggest it's an original IP, like it's not based on something else or anything like that. So it is like the highest grossing original in quite some time. But that's awesome. Seems like the studios are taking umbrage to that and saying like it's writing articles of it's far from broken even yet. And it's like, what movie breaks even on the first weekend? But yeah, it looks like it's going to be around for quite some time.
Sweet. I'm going to see if my wife wants to see that this weekend.
Kind of a slow burn.
It doesn't bother me.
If I was to not really ruin anything in it, but kind of give you two movies, it's kind of like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou meets From Dusk Till Dawn.
Okay, I like both of those movies. So
I think you'd like it then.
Yeah, I like both of those movies. So I will definitely. I know she would probably like it too. So we'll go see that this weekend. That'll be fun.
And you said she likes vampires, which is what that movie.
She does like her. She's been reading vampire books. I mean, my goodness, since I met her.
Good Lord, man. I would love to just geek out with someone talking about Vampire Diaries at one point because I'm a big nerd.
I mean, when I first met her, she was like reading like, I can't remember all the authors, but she was like reading like Anne Rice books and other. I can't remember all the other people. She was very into horror movies, vampires, stuff like that.
Yeah, like damn. What was the last TV show you watched? Because you said you're watching The Wheel of Time.
Okay, so that's completely different. That is something that I saw the first episode because I was curious because I had read the books. So like that's something me and my brother watch and we laugh and like, because it's just so ridiculous. On top of just like, it's just not a good show or adaptation. So we kind of like make fun of it and just that's one of the only times I talk to my brother each week.
It sucks that like they were able to introduce some things kind of cool, like Balefire. The way they kind of introduced it in this last one, it's like that's kind of cool. You show that it can do like the reversing, right? But man, other choices are just like, why did you do that? What the hell?
Man, when he blew the horn, I was so.
Apparently, they weren't even going to do the horn at all. Like I don't know how they were going to do that, but Branderson convinced them that no, you need to have the Horn of Valyr in here. So I have no idea what they were going to do with the adaptation.
When he blew that and like 6 dudes showed up, I was like, God damn it.
Well, and Uno being one of them, like what the fuck?
Yeah, he was just there. He was like just there with them too. He just died. It was like, what the hell? That's that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you don't do the Horn of Valyr with Matt. I did like the scene. Like I had been waiting for the scene where Matt whoops on Galad and Gawain. I was waiting for that, so that was kind of cool to see. In
that though,
it wasn't
bigger, and I thought it would be like in front of people. But
it should have been. It should have been during the day in front of a ton of people. It should have been.
And the bullshit with the first season or I guess it was second season where they turned the dagger into the Ashendara. It's like, how?
Why? Why? And what's up with them? What's up with this show and like trying to kill off Loyal? What is what? What
They
is
finally
with that?
succeeded. But yeah,
Well,
I thought they killed him in the first season, where it's like, oh yeah, the
yeah,
dagger that kills everyone.
it
It
kills
stabbed you.
everything. It kills everything. And if it doesn't kill you, you're bonded to it. But whatever. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, how can they get something so right? Like the Ruidian thing. Well, it's not
Yeah.
perfect. Man, it is the most
It was
perfect thing they
great.
did.
It was great.
I don't know how they can
liked
get
it.
that, but then we get everything else. And it sucks because of the whole COVID thing. So they could only have so many people on set. And
Right.
they lost Barney Harris, like one of the actor that played Matt. So it's like,
Yes. And
it's
and
weird. You got to combine things.
I was so mad whenever they showed the ways because I was like, oh, this looks kind of neat. And then just no much.
So some gamer chick is saying I won't finish it. We all might not finish it. It's not guaranteed for season 4, and they're only in Shadow Rising, so it's gonna be a while. I don't think they're gonna finish it.
No, they can't. It doesn't like. It's just not watched enough. It's just not watched enough. But like I said, do you remember the animated things they put out with the first season? Do you remember those? Those were
actually kind of cool.
Those were great. What?
It seems like they understood it. So like it got me excited.
Yeah.
Like, okay, they get the lore. This is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a slow burn, but they'll get into it. Because book 1 is my least favorite anyway. So if they're gonna make changes, I'm okay with that one being changed. But man, everything else. Just giving Perrin a wife. Why? Why did you do that?
I did.
And then the will they, won't they with Egwene. My bad. Sorry, Cyphex. We got tangented back into Wheel of Time. Not a great show.
No, you guys are fine.
Really
Go ahead.
good
I don't care.
I just didn't quite get it. Like I remember
Cyphex, buddy.
I remember someone saying like, well, it's unrealistic to have a group of young people that one of them might be in a relationship and them not having sex. I was like, well, one, they were never in a relationship. They were somewhat always kind of thought to be together since they were young, but that never happened.
Yeah.
So like,
But then Perrin, like being like that, he's
Perrin
always gone after Egwene, even though he just had a wife that he just killed.
Yeah, that he just killed.
None of that makes sense. Hey, Michael, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Michael? But yeah,
MSK is here too.
Oh yeah, Tim. I love whenever we talk and like MSK, he's acting like he's paying attention.
Oh, he's going.
And then he'll come in with a non sequitur.
No, I'm looking up the next omnibuses to buy after I do all my PayPal paying for.
Sure, it's omnibuses you're looking up. I believe you. Yes, Cyphex, that sucks, man. It is nothing like the books, and it sucks. There is like almost no actual scenes from the books in this show, but really bad choice.
Yeah, it wasn't a good choice. Have you read the comic books they've done for Wheel of Time?
Yeah, I didn't hate those. I only,
they're actually pretty good.
As far as I understand, did they go beyond Eye of the World, or was it just the first one?
So they did.
I only read to Eye of the World.
They did New Spring.
Oh, that's right. I did do a New Spring one. I did see
Eye
that
of the
one.
World, and they're about, I think, like 8 or 9 chapters into the Great Hunt.
Oh hell yeah! I need to check out the Great Hunt. It was not there when I checked out the comics. Oh yeah, that makes me excited. Those were good adaptations.
That's what I said, because it's like, even if like you're doing a movie or a show, I look at like if you're doing the book, right? Obviously, there's more than that, but if you're doing an episode, right? You look at, if you're breaking down the book, say we have to get these 10 points in, these 10 things that have to happen, right? And then you could just fill in the things in between, But what bothered me with what Rafe Judkins did is he would talk about how we don't have time to do all this stuff, but then all the other crap that's not in the books that he spends all this time on. And you're just
understand. Like, we need Game of Thrones type thing. There must be romance and characters must die.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling the studio pushed for some of it, but still, Rafe Judkins is the guy who is saying, I understand it. It's going to be an amazing adaptation. And it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know.
So, but yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to check out the second one, though. That sounds awesome. I didn't realize they had made that.
Yeah, let me see. I'll tell you exactly how many there are. Because I bought them digitally because my comic book store didn't have them. I have to order them. Let me see here. Sorry. Not that dead air is bad on MSK show, but
It's better than if MSK is talking. But yeah, like with the comics, I really like the art on it.
There's
Sure you are.
there's 6 of them so far. There's 6 for the Great Hunt.
Laps
Oh,
on a
I
late
need the
stream?
Great Hunt.
No. Typically, Laps is never on a late stream. He has to go to work. And he has to go to bed, so he's not dead at work. He was just doing this show this week because, well, you know,
he's doing a
missed out on
favor for
Tuesday.
MSK.
He was like,
I
MSK, I love you so much. You're a top G Riz master. I want to help you out.
No, I
Pretty sure that's not
actually
how it
had a doctor's appointment yesterday with our regular show, so I said I'll still do something since I said I would.
I tell MSK I've got doctor's appointments also. You know, it works. Oftentimes around this time, I'm for some reason having a dental appointment. I don't know.
Well, I'm on Eastern time, so like I actually did have one. Because I get off work.
No,
5
so did I.
PM.
So did I.
Goodness gracious, man. No, I was just, prepping for Comic Book Market Watch. I got to do that tomorrow because I'm.
Well, here's the thing, though, man. You got that pull list that takes 7,000 years to come in. So I mean, like
my next order is coming. Yeah. I have the other one. So
the next one. What about the ones you ordered 2 weeks ago?
I have them. They're literally right here. I can.
So you have Hush 2 #1.
I do. I think so. I would never lie to you. Do you think I would lie to you purposefully just to fuck with you?
I mean, I don't care enough. But
damn it.
No,
I thought you were fun.
I hope not.
When you were younger, you were
kind of assuming you're lying.
When I was younger, I was fun.
Yeah, you used to be fun. Now you're all just old and.
I liked this one. This one was really good. The Absolute Green Lantern.
I did. When you said
that was a lot of fun.
When you said Absolute Martian Manhunter wasn't a train wreck, I picked up issue 1 and I added issue 2 to that pull list that you think doesn't exist, and I did order it.
Well, I didn't say that the pull list doesn't exist. I said, man, does it take a long time to get to you?
Oh, yeah, just saying. I've told him my grandma died at least 6 times. I only have one grandma, and she's been gone for 15 years. So yeah, Cyfax used to, enjoy coming on the show, but he got so much clout on his own that
enjoy. He used to come on. I'll agree with you, but
yeah,
he had to drag himself.
Good Lord,
as do we all.
I went out and bought like a bunch of different covers for the Batmans, the Absolute Batmans.
Hey, why are you getting covers for a book you already have this many?
Why?
They have alternates.
All right. So you want to hear why? And I'm sorry, I've never said this. I have a fuck ton of money, okay? And I spend it.
Yeah,
so
you say it every
I
stream.
can go out and do these things, and when?
You said this every episode we've been on together.
No, I haven't.
MSK.
He's gaslighting. That time he's literally said, "I have a great job. I'm rich. Essentially, I have
never said I was rich.
I mean,
I have never said that. I have never said that.
Okay,
okay.
MSK.
Good.
You can strive to be lapsed one day. It would be awesome.
Yeah,
but until then,
successful?
you should work on your collections. I know you've got, the one TV mount in the background, but you should start collecting other things. Put them on display.
Oh no, I never asked you this. Since you said you like to get that stuff, are you a guy that's ever been into like the PSA grading, the slab comic books? Never. I never got
I've never actually done it. So
okay.
But I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. It's just more I read them. So there's a lot that I have that I there's certain books that I like. If I like the cover, it's not like I go and say, oh, I like this one book, so I must have all the covers. It's when I'm there, if I look at something and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Even if I have it, I buy it. Sorry. I mean, I don't know. If something looks cool to me, I buy it. Like,
I do that too. I've become the person that I
told you, man. I have like 3 really, really bad, like expensive habits, like comic books, Jordans, and like video games and stuff. So, like,
good gosh, are you gonna get a Switch too?
well, not right away. My son wants one, so
Okay.
he has to work to get it. So if I was getting it for myself, I would probably get it as soon as possible. But since he wants it, if he gets the stuff that I set before him done, by the
Yes.
time it comes out, I will try to get it for him as quick as possible.
Because you have a Steam Deck, so you're good anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mostly I play on I have a PS5. I'm mostly, like I said, I'm mostly into like single player RPG games. That's what I
Mhm.
play. So like a lot of the stuff I play on emulation because that's a lot of the older games are on there. Like my favorite games are Dragon Quest. That's what I like. That's what I like playing those every so often.
Mhm.
So like, but Sony has a lot of the JRPG games, so I play a lot of those. I do use my Steam Deck because you can emulate right on there. It's really simple to do so. So I do use
How
that.
much should it cost you for a Steam Deck? Isn't it like $500? Same thing as a console, right?
I bought the LCD one, the
Mhm.
OLED one. That was like $6.99.
That's not bad. I mean, that's essentially paying for a console on release,
I bought
essentially.
I like the Steam. I like it, but I can
Yeah.
understand someone not buying that for that reason.
Oh man,
Yeah,
it
'cause-
looks so cool. I just think I'd have a problem if I had one. Like I don't know if I'd ever stop.
Well,
Until I die.
I did it first. I will say I did it first. Like when I started putting like emulators in other games that were on like Steam for free. I don't play a lot of like shooters and stuff like that. I used to all the time. That's the reason why I don't. And why I mainly play single player games, because at least that I can put down. But if I started playing like some shooter that I liked,
Mine's
I
same.
don't know, dude. I might not stop.
Dude,
and I'm afraid
the only thing that
of
man, people are like, I'm not trying to be that guy, but I am that guy, and I'm always going to be that guy because the thing with the Switch 2,
I don't know if you're the guy.
I understand having discourse around the cost of the games, maybe like the hardware, all fine stuff to discuss when you're buying a product, all fine stuff. The thing that I don't like in the conversation is when people go, man, this console is going to cost like $500. Well, I'm sorry, you're broke and you can't afford new shit when it drops.
like that. I don't look at it like that. I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying.
Because I'll add to it.
I don't like whenever Nintendo, right, who is usually a family friendly thing. They have been for a while.
You're right. Yeah.
Who does that when the hardware itself does not warrant
the price. Yeah.
The price. So like I can understand that when they said basically when you look at the specs, it's like a portable PS4.
Yeah,
right?
But I wasn't expecting that big of a jump with their hardware because typically, isn't their hardware typically behind PlayStations and Xboxes anyway? Typically,
so when they put out the Wii U, they tried to make like a giant hardware system, but they called it the Wii U, so people didn't really know the consumer base that they had that were technically families that bought the Wii. They didn't know what it was. Like they didn't know if it was a new Nintendo or if it was like an extension of the Wii. So like, but that did have really good hardware in it. And since I think that didn't sell well, they were like, we're just going to make what we want to make. They want to use their little flash, SD cards and make things like that. That's fine. Yeah. I have no problem with that. But if you're going to do that and I look at it as if you're the family system, make it family affordable.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of kids that have a Switch, right? They don't understand economics. They just know that they want to switch, and some families might not be able to do that. I'm not saying lose money, but when you look at how much the Switch 1 sold, do you really think by lowering the price of the Switch 2, you're not going to fucking sell and destroy the market anyway?
So with Nintendo, you know this too, their systems typically have a longer shelf life and cycle than the other two companies, right? The Switch came out mid 2017, right? And we're going to the Switch 2 in 2025. So it's about an 8-year gap right there. So the Switch 3 isn't coming out until like 2033 when your kid's like going to be in high school at that point, So by that time, if you invested, I don't know, $400 into that, if you got like 8-9 years worth of time with that console, that's honestly more than enough, because given theirs last a lot. And then people know, like, this is the thing, Gray knows everyone here knows this.
They own so much of the video game market, though. That's the thing.
Not that.
They're not going to lose their profit on it.
Oh no,
you might get
Go ahead.
You might
But
get
no.
years out of the actual Switch, but those controllers, man, they
Those
break
controllers
all the
a lot
time.
of money. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I bought the
there's-
Pro controller because I was just
I have
like,
that one. Yeah.
I was like, no,
Because
no, thank you.
my point was mostly on the fact that, because we all grew up. I mean, a lot of us are poor. We know that whenever we get the newest thing, we're going to be getting it, and it's going to cost us a bit of money. To think that the average person didn't expect them to pull this is crazy, because in life, I expect things to just go up in price when it's a newer generational thing, like new iPhones.
But
new
$299 to $599.
But would you not expect it though, given how
No,
everything's gone up in price?
not it to cost twice as much.
Not more than
no.
double. Like
No.
I could
I
definitely
would
see
expect
like
it, though, given the fact that-
$3.99,
Given the fact
maybe
that
$4.99
everything
if they're
went up in
going
price,
really
You guys really didn't
by
expect it?
double.
Not
Yeah,
double,
I would
dude.
expect everything's gone up in price, though. I would really expect them to do it. I'm saying I agree. I'm not saying I agree.
Not
with it, but
no, not double, because that's not what PlayStation 4, when it went to 5, didn't go up double.
well, that was because they had already started putting out the other editions of it at that point.
No, just the regular PlayStation 4 when it came out. It's not double the price for a PS5. Doesn't matter if you bought a. No, it's like $100 difference.
Well, I mean,
the PS5,
when you
what was it,
compare it to
$500, I
eggs,
think?
though, that's
Well,
only
eggs,
like 4
oh my
cartons of
God.
eggs.
So, like,
yeah, right.
my
Exactly.
thing-
you got
my
like
thing
you got like
is-
4
Oh,
big
before-
giant chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, good night, Cyfax. All right, have a good night, man. It's just my thing is like if people have an expectation in their mind that it was going to cost quite a bit of money, or was going to cost relatively around the same amount of money, you could have been saving for this for months on end.
Okay,
I mean,
right, but here's the thing: you're not taking into account of having children. It's different speaking from a single perspective. It totally is. Some families, things come up, dude, and you can't save money.
no, that's what I was going to tackle too. And for the people that went, oh, I can't get this for my kids when it comes to, oh, well, we didn't have that as kids. We didn't just always get the
that's
newest
not
thing.
a comparative situation,
Yes, it
bro.
is.
Like, no, it's
You're not
not
going to get your son the newest system when it drops. You said he's going to have to wait for it.
No,
All of
I
us
said
have
he
that.
has. I said he has to. He asked for
Yeah.
it. I said these are the things that you have to do to
Well,
get
you
it.
won't be getting it day
But-
one, as I'm saying.
Face.
If he does what he, I
Yes.
said, yes, I have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
I have to keep my word
Dude,
as a
he
parent.
gave
Yeah,
him
yeah.
missions. He has to complete those.
If I don't keep my word as a parent, that's
You'd be
awful.
like my
That's
dad.
bad. That is bad. That is bad.
Yeah,
I do.
like I mean, people that went like, "Oh, I
Hey,
have."
maybe
bills
your
and
dad's
everything.
just out there getting you the latest system, MSK.
He's getting me the latest milk carton that he hasn't come back for. No, but I'm just saying, like, I understand the whole family aspect. I get it from every point of view. But there's times in life you just don't get the newest stuff when it drops, and you just get it later on.
Yes, understandable. Totally get that.
Yeah.
That's
Or-
not.
or-
I
or-
don't
hear
think
what you're
that's an
saying.
argument.
Nowadays, you can pay things off. Like you
Well-
said your wife, you brought your wife a brand new car. You guys can give it all the money out that you guys are paying. that
She
off over
deserves
time.
it, MSK.
I'm
Okay,
saying she
no,
doesn't.
I paid it straight.
You paid it in full? No way.
Yes, I did.
dude,
That's
that is
crazy.
awesome.
Okay, so
I
outside
wish
of
I
you
could
being the
do that.
exception to the rule, outside of last,
I
being
did.
the
Now I
exception-
had to pay my house off. That took
Yeah,
forever.
I'm saying like nowadays, given how
That
there's
took
more
a
like
long time.
there's more like
And then they were
payment
like, "Oh,
options.
there's this thing called property tax," which I knew.
Yeah,
nothing
that's the
about.
problem.
Yeah, fuck that.
No,
So
like
you don't really own anything here.
with your house, you
sucks.
paid it off over time. You didn't just give them like what, I don't know, 30K up front. I'm just saying like nowadays there are these other payment options. You can just pay it off over time. There's plenty of them out there. I'm just saying there's more options now for getting this thing if you really want to.
MSK, are you telling everyone to just get the latest system on credit?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
you
easy
can.
responsible, sir.
Put yourself.
You could.
In debt.
I'm not saying credit, but I'm saying that there's ways of paying it off that aren't up.
You're right. You could break a window. You could.
Oh my
there's
God, don't do
there's
that.
a lot of options out there.
Or you just tell your kids this: we'll get it when we can afford it. That's exactly what my mom used to say.
Listen, I bought you those sneakers so that you could run fast. Come on, put 2 and 2 together.
And as Lap
Mhm.
said, don't just like not pay your bills or miss skipping a bill for a system. I'm telling you guys, you can wait for the Switch 2. It'll always be there. I'm just saying,
Well,
This-
yes,
I'm-
I understand what you're saying. I just don't look at this as a big point of contention as you are.
that's the only
because
problem that I saw generally. Everything else you guys said, I agree with. Yeah, them hiking the price up on games is it's kind of
I
stupid.
just
because their
I
games
just
are on
don't
sale.
understand the price of the system. It just doesn't warrant what they have.
I
in
don't
the
think it
system
does either.
when I could get a completely better system for
Mhm.
this less
Okay,
price,
correct me if I'm wrong.
and I
What
could get an
difference is the
LCD.
Switch?
I could get an LCD Steam Deck for a refurbished one, which they literally take apart and they put all brand new stuff in. That's what Steam does because they're great.
They're pretty cool. Yeah, like that.
And
Yeah.
you could get one for cheaper. My nephew, he wanted one and he just went out and got one. I think he paid like $360 for it.
Nice. That sounds reasonable,
Yeah.
especially with what you could do with one of those.
But you know, like you said, it all just depends on, well, what if someone just isn't interested in the Steam Deck and they just choose to switch to, or, you know, vice versa as well.
Right.
You know, I think you are looking at it from, oh, well, you don't want to switch to, then get the Steam Deck, and it's like, well, I don't know what that person likes. I would just say that's a suggestion.
And I think Nintendo, though, also they rely on their heavy hitters. You know, people know, like, you got Mario coming, you got Zelda coming, you got this,
Smash Bros.
All those things are gonna come, right? So those are big sellers for them. Now, what's different now, though, is I think with Sony, even though it's only their first Team Asobi's first big game, I think Astrobot put a giant
actually, do you think that deserved Game of the Year when it won last year? You think so?
Yes,
okay,
100%. Oh my goodness, yes. So I had the PlayStation 4 had their crappy VR system, right? And I had it, but the one really amazing game was Astrobot, the original Astrobot.
Okay, so what is it? What is Astrobot essentially?
So you're just a little robot that's a platformer. It's just like a Mario style game,
okay.
Right? But in the VR one, like, instead of being in the first person view where it like makes you sick, you know, like, and all that stuff that happened with PS4, you were in a third person view while you controlled the robot from a third person view. So you could like look around him and see him. And it was just these cute little levels and they just did real fun stuff. But in the game for PS5, it's a full on platforming game and it's just so creative. I said this. My son loves Mario and he loves Sonic, and I bought him like Mario Wonder, Mario Odyssey, all the way back to like even when my older kids were young. You know, I played Mario Galaxy. I think Astrobot is better than any Mario game that I've played in the past 10, 15 years.
Oh, hell yeah. That sounds awesome, man.
I think it's so much better. It's way more creative. Plus, they did it the right way. Like, Astrobot is like any of the old Sony IPs, they appear in the game. Like, there's a God of War level. There's a Parappa the Rappa level. Like, there's all these IPs that if you were a Sony fan, they combined all of this stuff in this giant world for you to like go and mess with. There's like a Solid Snake level, you know, and when you rescue the other bots, like they live on this home world, and your spaceship that you use is a PS5 that you are rebuilding. So when you're doing stuff in the game, say you're rebuilding the graphics thing, the graphics on those levels, it accentuates what the PlayStation 5 can do graphic capability wise. When you're doing the processor, it does a bunch of things that the processor can do. Like, it's so intuitive to what the system is and what the IPs that they control are. It was like incredible game. Incredible.
Dude,
Plus,
you had me at
fun as
Parappa.
Did you ever
do
you remember the Helldivers 2 situation? Did you ever play Helldivers?
No, it's just one of those things that I probably would have loved it and then I never would have returned. I'm afraid of like playing those. The only first person shooter game that I still play is Doom, and only because I don't have to play it online. Okay, I can just play the single player and be fine. But if I played the online, I love that stuff so much. I might just like never return. And like, I love my family too much to just be like, sorry guys, I'm playing this now. You don't exist anymore.
Did you play Black Myth Wukong?
Yes.
You like it?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go on another one here. Did you ever play this game called Baltro? Little poker game?
No, Balatro.
Balatro. Okay.
A lot of people loved it. I didn't play it. My brother asked me like to get it. I did not get it, but I've heard it's great. It's so much fun.
Were you ever an Elder Scrolls, Elden Ring kind of guy?
So I've played the Elder Scrolls game, but I don't want to get into Elden Ring because those From Software games, like, I understand that they're hard and people love those games, but I had a theory, right? So I only played was it Bloodborne and the original Demon Souls. Okay.
Okay.
So I never played any of the other stuff. So when I would see people play this game, I compared it to like playing God of War, which I've played, God of War Ragnarok.
Okay.
And you play that on Give Me God of War mode. That shit is hard as hell, right? And I've played it and I've beaten it. I said, Elden Ring looks cool, looks great, amazing. And you can even check my freaking my PSN account. I could show you that I have beaten Elden Ring. I've never played any of the other demons. All I did was roll around, and that was it. And I could beat everything. All I did was roll, dodge, roll, dodge, roll, dodge, roll, 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 roll. And I just don't.
That's what it looked like. So a friend of mine was playing Dark Souls, and he was like, "Man, this game is so fun and cool." It looked like you just dodged and rolled the whole time. I'm just saying that's what it looked like from my point of view. You know, when I would watch like gameplay of it, and when I saw some friends playing it at some of their houses I used to go to.
Astra or Walter S. I understand what you're saying. I don't shit on Mario or like that at all. I was just comparing the two because I love Mario. I've grown up playing Mario, and it's just like I loved Mario Odyssey, but like when they came out with Mario Wonder, as much of a fun game as it was, it just seemed to me like here's more new Super Mario Brothers with like some little advancements. Still a great game. Me and my son played it, beat it, loved it. I love the Mario franchise. I mean, that's literally the first game that I played on Nintendo because I lived in the New Jersey, New York market. So we were one of the test markets for Nintendo a year before it was released. There was like Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. So I had like when I was telling kids about Nintendo, right? They were like, "What? What are you talking? What's a Nintendo?" And I'm like, Nintendo video games. And they were like, they had no idea what I was talking about.
What other game is
Switch
there?
company?
The other
What's
one that
that?
came out that had a lot of controversy, Stellar Blade. Did you ever play that?
Oh, love it. Love Stellar
Okay.
Blade. Oh, Stellar Blade was amazing.
I'm trying to see.
But I could see if people could see like the action in it is repetitive. But it's also one of those games that you have to learn the system. You can't just roll around and beat. You can't. You'll die.
Are you saying people are noobs? Are you a Final Fantasy guy by any chance?
Okay, Walter. I was just wanting to clarify for you there. But I do know what you mean. People that love Astrobot, since it happens to be a great game, they have to shit on other games where I just don't
Yeah, that's it.
I don't understand why we can't be happy that we have other good games.
Unless you played Space Marines too, unless you like that.
I did play Space Marines too.
Okay.
But I only played the story mode with two of my friends. They're playing the other modes. I'm not playing them because, like I said, I would probably do that all the time. And they've asked me a ton of times, "Hey man, come on here. We're doing Forge mode and Horde mode." I'm like, "Nope, sorry. We beat the story. That's it." Dude, I would sit there for 18 hours and play it. That's all I would call off from work. I'm not doing it. No, man. It ain't happening.
I get that, man. That's awesome that you know that about yourself and you can control it.
I'm too
I have
afraid.
to just like abstain from getting the game. But,
yeah, I'm too afraid.
Lord.
Like I haven't touched my PS5 in like 3-4 weeks because I'm afraid
oh my God. You're doing it, man.
Listen, before I was like
hey, MSK,
good with myself.
This is why this guy has money, unlike you.
Before I was good with myself, like I'm just being honest, like and before I was like, applied myself and like, I've told you I used to be a drug addict, but like, dude, all I did was sit at home while my wife worked and I played video games and I would literally be up in the morning playing freaking Rainbow Six 3 for like fucking 17 hours a day. Like I never want to be that person. I'm afraid. I'm not saying that it would happen. I'm afraid that it would happen. And I have priorities in my life that overtake all of that bullshit that I want to do. Do I want to sit there and play Dragon Quest, the 2D HD that came out 2 months ago or 3 months ago? I bought it. I played it, but I would limit myself. Okay, you could play a couple hours after work and then you got family stuff to do. Or I wait till the kids asleep. And if my wife doesn't want to do something, then okay, I can play it. That's just how I do things now.
Yeah, no,
that's awesome.
I understand. Yeah,
I wish I had that self-control.
Oh, I forgot you're a DC guy. Did you play Suicide Squad? Kill the Justice League?
Yeah, I did that by myself.
Oh shit.
I did. I played it by myself. I was one of the few people that got it when it came out, so like there wasn't that many people on there to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard they fixed it, and I might want to go back and look at it and just do the thing. I thought the story at the end, like how a lot of people had a giant problem with it. I just looked at it as like it's a freaking Suicide Squad. Like what? It's called Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. What did they think was going to happen? Them not kill the Justice League? Like,
good lord. Same here. I'm not going to shit on a game to prop up another. I am, because that's the person I am. I don't get paid by any of these companies, so I never understood the console war thing. But as a PC gamer, I enjoy a good bum fight. For me, I like games in general. I just like games, period. But I understand, if you're a diehard whatever company, you're going to always say their stuff's better than the other ones. That's just how it's going to be.
No, and I get that. I feel like I'm talking way too much, man. Like,
this is a podcast. It wasn't. Oh my! I hate.
Yeah, but I'm not letting the other dude talk. Like that's.
This is Gray. He talked enough. Gray, do you love me? See, this is what I do. I help this man, and this is what he does to me. Good lord.
Oh,
Sadly, MSK removes all.
That time the silence was intentional.
Good gosh.
But Michael has a point. All great father figures do somehow get removed from this channel, so it will be horrible once we lose you, Labs. Because as Michael also points out, you are a great father figure, and MSK could learn a lot from you.
Yeah, I already cut his contract.
Sadly, he won't.
I get this man $50 million for 4 years. This guy's getting the bag.
I try to be. I try to have a good relationship with my children, and I want them to know that I'm their dad first. Like, I try not to. Don't get me when I say this, it sounds mean, but we do stuff together all the time. I don't want to be their friend first. I want them to respect me as their dad.
Dad should do that.
I want them to be able to come to me, first. But if you met my son, if he came down here, dude, I'm telling you, this is one of the he's one of the happiest children I've ever met in my life. And I'm not just saying that because he's mine. Like I've never seen this kid like mad or upset. Like he says some of the this is what this will explain my son. I think I've told the story. I went in for his little Christmas thing for kindergarten, right? So mind you, he was like 6. He knows Santa Claus is not real, right? But he doesn't tell anybody. So whenever he saw me, his eyes lit up. He's like, and he ran over to me, and the exact words, I will never forget this. He said, and I went, "What's up, David?" And he went, "Don't tell these kids that Santa Claus is not real. I don't want to be the one that crushes their dreams."
That's MSK's job.
I went, all right. Okay, little 6-year-old kid.
Dude, that's awesome.
Whatever.
I definitely would not have thought that. I was the asshole kid who would like start spoiling it for others because, I knew a secret or whatever. I'm pretty sure MSK was the same way. Dude, you're raising awesome kids, better than us.
He's just a good little. He's a very happy kid.
No, I agree. I think too many parents try to do that thing where they're like, this my kid is my best friend. I understand the sentiment behind it, but it's like if you treat them like a best friend, then it's going to be hard to have those hard parent moments. Like, hey, you're going to do what I say, because if you're their friend, they're going to look at you differently. So I agree. It should be dad first, then give them obviously good things if they do good things.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. When my wife goes with the girls to Vegas every year, we eat pizza and watch.
Of course,
watch Sonic the Hedgehog.
Did you show him Sonic X?
Oh yeah, he knows Sonic X. He loves it.
Good. Of course he is. Yeah, that theme song it's a banger. I'll give that.
Gotta move faster. Yeah, that's
good.
Gosh, that. That's all of my children. What I started them on was I have bought the silver editions of all the Looney Tunes, and it's like 180 cartoons. That's what I start them on. I want them because I tried watch my oldest when he was young. It was like SpongeBob had first come out, and I'm not saying SpongeBob is bad. Like there's some funny SpongeBob
but it doesn't
stuff.
have that classicness to the.
Right.
I don't know. I love me some Looney Tunes.
Yeah. and I wanted them to like understand those things. So I bought like gummy bears and like stuff like that. And I wanted them, they loved Chippendale Rescue Rangers. So like it was different. Like whenever they would have friends over, they'd be like, "Oh, you want to watch Chippendale Rescue Rangers?" And they're like, "What the hell is that?" But,
Oh, man, it's the greatest show. Monterey Jack and Zipper. Come on.
yeah, it's good stuff. So like that's how I kind of started them. And then once they got to like a little bit older in their teen year, then I, let them kind of make their own way and what they like, develop their own personality. But 2 out of the 3, man, like the youngest one, he likes a lot of the same stuff that I do. But my oldest son, he was the one that was a little bit different. He liked his own stuff that he would find. But my daughter and my middle son, they loved watching Looney Tunes. We do that for like Thanksgiving. So like I'll have my sister and my nephews over, and I have 2 sisters, and they'll come over. My brother, I can't because he lives in Delaware, but like they'll come over, and we have a tradition where we eat Thanksgiving, but we play like a lot of the funniest Looney Tunes, in my opinion. We
It
always
feels so
watch
bad what happened to the Looney Tunes, the way Warner Brothers treats them. You know?
watch like Bugs Bunny and the baseball.
Did you like Space Jam too?
I never watched it.
It's a movie of all time.
The newest Looney Tunes movie, though, I am very interested in. I have heard
the coyote that blows up everything.
I've heard very good things about it, so I want to check it out.
Okay.
So
hell yeah.
I'd like to see that.
Oh, speaking of Sonic, since I know your little guy likes it, there's a new Sonic trade paperback that drops this week.
Well, we have a lot of those, so I will probably. I don't think we're up to date though.
They're on volume 18 right now.
Okay, I'm on. We got 13. We have 1 through 13. So we're not up to date yet. But what we are up to date on is, I believe it's this. We are up to date on this. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The Justice League and the
good old Dan Mora.
Oh wait, no, the Sonic and Justice League. Sorry, that was this one right here. But I grabbed the wrong other one.
That's okay. That's pretty much it. As you guys know, Lapsed Comic Fan coming on is we usually have to always, give him the best clout there is.
There you go. Sonic and
beautiful.
DC.
I love them. I never watched Space Jam 2. You don't need to. That movie's terrible. That movie sucks complete ass. But as you guys know, I would never lie to you. I'm here as someone that'll just be a guide for you to be getting the knowledge that you need.
Yeah, to teach us what not to do, right?
Purposefully. I'm here to just be what you need when your life gets better.
What?
No. Oh, like that slap down to reality. Like, you don't get your head too big. If life's going well, watch MSK. That'll bring you back down. I get you. There's purpose.
God. Well, the meetup's over. The Vegas week was awesome, but now it's time to get back to, pumping out more episodes.
Haven't you been back since like 5 days ago?
I'm just soaking.
Yeah, he only left for an evening, but he's still talking about.
I'm soaking it all in. We have
the meetup. Great. He actually seriously asked me to come to that next year. I was like, are you fucking what?
Oh, no. Good Lord, man. Literally, we're gonna have more comic book reviews, movie reviews. We're gonna have everything here on this show. This is the everything show.
Wait, you're reviewing Space Jam 2?
I would rather not. That movie's just completely terrible. I'd rather die watching that again.
Did you see it?
I did.
Oh.
I did. Remember it came out on the day and date release date when Warner Brothers did that for 2021.
Isn't that hey, Gray, have you ever understood that? Like, I understand like hate watching, but like, do you ever understand why all these people watch this shit that they know they hate? Like,
I go in blind. I don't know if it's gonna be good.
I don't.
I'm definitely doing that with the Wheel of Time, like we mentioned.
Okay,
it's like,
yes.
All right, it's not good, but I want to see how far they strayed from it. But I mean, I'm not on the internet though, just
correct?
Like, yeah. So I'm actually like
different
into it.
Than going to see Space Jam because it sucks.
I didn't hate the first one. I thought the first one was okay. So
the first one is what it is. I did like because I was a very big Michael Jordan fan. So
Ooh.
I did go see it when it came out.
I might go see it. It literally just depends on if I can make it. In
You
time or not.
you wouldn't like it, MSK. It's cinema.
Oh yeah. I'm a huge fan of the Fast and Furious movies, the actual cinema, honestly. But
It's just one of those things where if I know I'm not going to like something, like I'm not going, I might go watch it if it's on streaming just to see it, but like I'm not going to go out and pay money to go see it. I'm just not going to watch it.
Yeah. And that's
they're
the
not
thing, with
taking
everything coming to
Sinners out of the
streaming like 2
theaters.
weeks after. No,
well, not
Sinners will be in
recently,
theaters for a while.
Sinners will be in theaters for quite a bit of time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see that this weekend. So
Companion, it didn't suck, but it didn't have like a really strong opening. Within 2 weeks, it was like on Hulu, which is just weird as hell. But man,
what's the when like okay, like when you're watching like a series, like people watched Kenobi, right? Or Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes,
it's like everybody they keep watching it, even though they know it's going to be bad, right? And I understand being a fan of something because I always use the reference of like, hey, I'm a fan of this band, but I don't like all their CDs, but I still I still like the band, right? Well, they've been putting out such not good stuff for so long.
No, I hear that, dude. After Obi-Wan,
I just end up not watching. I end up not watching it.
I did. After Obi-Wan, I literally said it back when I had my bigger YouTube channel.
I thought Andor was cool.
I didn't even get to Andor. I literally said after Obi-Wan, if this is not good, I'm done, and I haven't been back since, and I don't care, honestly.
Well, Andor is worth it.
I thought Andor was cool, but like I had to hear about that from like if my brother knows kind of what I like, and he's the opposite of me. He'll watch everything. Right, he watches like he's told me to watch some, and he still does. And I'm like, my brother's name's Matt, and I'm like, Matt, I'm not gonna watch this. Why?
But I do agree with you, brother, on that. I understand that. Like I'm someone. I've always been this way too. I understand you probably shouldn't watch everything. The reason why I try to is because I try to be informed on as many things as possible. That's just a person that I am. I like to have
and that I can understand making content and stuff, but I've never been that dude. Like if I don't know something, I'm just like,
if you're a regular Joe Blow, it doesn't matter. If you're just a regular person,
right? But if you're high up there, like MSK,
I didn't say that. You're putting words in my mouth.
Well,
no, dude,
he's not going to see it, but he'll talk shit on it.
You just said like a regular Joe Blow.
No, I'm saying like, if you're a casual, like you're a mom and a dad, and you don't really do this stuff. If you just didn't watch anything, I'd be fine. Like there's no real bearing. It doesn't matter to you,
But I'm saying like even me, who I like a lot of that type of cultured stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I don't watch, and it's only because I watched Book of Boba Fett, right? And I sat there and I went, okay, Boba Fett. Not a super liked character, but like not really in the movies as much, but how do you mess up like a space pirate, bounty hunter?
Okay,
this is going to be awesome.
This time we're going to have him riding a Rancor, so everyone will love it.
No, they rode Power Ranger motorbikes.
Dude, if I have that other channel, and you would like this because it's right up your alley, MSK. That was me at my most cynical, right? It was, I'm going to make fun of everything and anything. And it was called Fighting Fandom. And I did the Acolyte, right? If you go watch the Acolyte review that I did, it's everything that you want me to be. Go watch it. I guarantee you.
I'm surprised you even watched that. That looked like crap.
I guarantee you're going to be like, where's that guy? Why isn't he on the show?
That's because that guy's, I'm looking at, what's, you're like Two-Face. This is the personality that's like Harvey, that where he's calm and collected. I want that other side of you when you get burnt on the face. That other side of you. Come on.
MSK understands why people aren't on his show. I think he'll get it.
Oh, God. But we're going to wrap it up here in a little bit. We had a great time. Laps was able to make up for the show tonight, which is awesome because Warren's at work tonight. But, this man has a $10 million contract here for 4 years. He's getting the bag like LeBron James is in the Lakers,
First it was $50 million for 4 years. Now it's $10 million, dude. I'm just getting undercut everywhere.
Hey, I got to make money
much
here.
Like LeBron, Laps does seem to be the talent here.
We got to make a profit on the channel. Well, what would I not be as a boss if I didn't undercut my workers, Well, who would I be? Oh, wait, a black man. All right.
I was actually more excited to talk to Greg, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm being honest. It's to say, hey, Look at the same thing that happened whenever I talked to Lunchbox Warren. What happened? Me and him ended up having after you left, we
Yeah.
stayed in this for like an hour and just talked.
MSK
Story of my
doesn't
life.
understand it.
No, that's the story of my life. People that I bring on like the other people more than me. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's okay.
It's
Not that crazy. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. Okay.
I understand. I'm always going to be the bridesmaid, never the bride. I understand at this point.
Well, I mean, maid adjacent.
All right. Laps, are you going to be doing any streams, any more content?
I am actually making a couple videos. I'm making videos for Hush 2.
Awesome. Okay.
Ooh, nice.
No streams anytime soon, and just doing pre-recorded videos.
I don't think it's going to be a Laps Comic Fan episode. It's been long enough. It's been like 3 months, so I might as well make one, right?
I give this man so much clout and he doesn't ever use it. It's okay, man. One day you'll
know. Cashier's in.
I make stuff whenever I want to do it. That's why I started YouTube. It's just trust me, man. I've had people tell me what I should be doing with my YouTube channel, how to change it, how to make it successful, and I'm just like, dude, I just review stuff I want to do.
I've always said the same thing. I've only ever did this because I just enjoy talking about the things that we talk about. I'm not even doing it for money. I could care less. I couldn't have made more money when I was doing it, but I just loved doing what we're doing so much. I could care less about any other external factors. I'm not trying to do this for a job. I just want to do what I'm doing. And that also includes how many episode appearances is that for Laps now at this point? I don't
know. But the one thing I do miss doing, I will say, is on my normal channel, the Bat-Bit stuff. I am going to get back into doing that because I love doing that, man. That shit's hilarious to me. If you've never read like really, really old Batman comics, back when Batman killed the shit out of people and like all that stuff, I have a bat. They're like 7-minute videos. They're short. I have like a bat kill count, a Batman bad parenting moment count, like stuff like that.
Wouldn't that be in the thousands? Holy shit.
There's a whole bunch of that stuff in there, and they're real quick, and they're fun to watch. So if you want to see the history of Batman, I think I have like 30 episodes of that up so far.
So Laps Comic Fan, as of tonight, for the IMDb page for the MSK show, you now have a total of 15 episode appearances. You are tied with Lunchbox Warren.
Why does it feel like so many more?
I feel like you should be at least 20. You should be at least, I feel like you should be at 20.
Dude, it feels like it's in the hundreds at this point.
Yeah, you're tied with Lunchbox Warren. You're 2 behind Savage Dad, and Gray is the second most with 33 episodes right now.
Whew.
Well, will you technically be in the lead?
33 in MSK years? Whoa.
Oh my God.
I know. I'm doing everything I can to not show up.
Good Lord. He skipped Monday. I try to give him the out. So if you don't count me, because I have to be here, then Gray's in the lead with 33 episodes. And then Laps is right here at 15, tied with Lunchbox Warren. It's crazy. I feel like Savage Dad should have more episode appearances too. He's been here for like forever, honestly. Anna has 7.
Yeah, there were a lot of dentist appointments.
Goodness gracious. All right. This is why I don't give you guys clout anymore, honestly. It's okay.
After talking about like how much clout he gave us.
You're welcome, Gray. Unfortunately, only Walter and I will see this since MSK has no clout.
True. Sad but true.
All right. Gray, what do you have coming up that you would like to let the audience know about?
Yes, I will let the copious amounts of audience, all of them, the hordes of adoring fans, I will let them all know that, new show next month. It was supposed to have launched on 420, then a whole bunch of people in my family decided to die, so, things got busy. But, hey, no deaths this week, so I'm getting the graphics and songs and everything ready. New show next month. We'll talk about that soon. But if you just can't get enough mustard, you need another schmear of it, come on over tomorrow to That Darn Kidda's channel for the Thinkers. It's Thursday evenings now instead of the mornings. But I think I'm supposed to debate a dude tomorrow about whether or not objective criticism is a real thing. So we kind of got into it with like all 6 of us last time, but it turned into a shit show.
Oh my.
So now I think it's...
I want to watch that.
Are people still arguing criticism debates in 2025? Oh my God.
Yes, we are. So I think me and one person are kind of drilling it down a little bit to where it's just one person, one other person, and you're kind of competing ideas. I just see art as subjective, so I don't think there can be objectivity, but I think you can use objective parts in it. But hey, if you want to hear my full argument, come on over to That Darn Kidda's channel tomorrow, YouTube at That Darn Kidda. And yeah, come join the thing. It's people from like 4 different countries who disagree about everything, but can somewhat amicably leave. So yeah, that sounds fun to you. I think we're also covering the H3 content comp thing. So yeah, come over. It's fun. But other than that, I don't know, man. Content eventually. What about you, MSK? What are you doing, sir?
So, potentially, give or take how I feel, I'll probably end up doing a game stream at some point later on tonight. But if not, I could potentially do one early afternoon tomorrow or morning. Just depends how I feel. We have the Cloud9 podcast with me and Mr. Blanks talking about all things competitive League of Legends. Gonna, talk about the NBA 2025 playoffs. Actually, I've been watching the games much as I can. I've been watching pretty much everything that I can. I've been a little bit out of the NBA for a little bit, but after watching the finals last year, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get back into watching it. It's been a nice thing to have back in my life, honestly. I really, really enjoy it. And then me and Lunchbox Warren, we have our show after the Cloud9 podcast. I think we're going to end up reviewing Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 4 for a comic book review. I think that's the only thing we're going to do. And then Friday, if we have our show, we'll probably just do some topics, actually. And then Saturday, one-on-one with Devil Made Me Do It. And then Cloud9 podcast Sunday. And then next week, pending, we'll have our show. Whatever he wants to review, we'll just do it then. And that's going to be pretty much it. Unless I can...
Whatever I want to review?
Good Lord. I think...
No, because here's the thing. You'll say things that I want to review. That perfect example. We were talking about Origins of Superman, right? And I said, my favorite one is this. And I took the book down, right? And then the next show, he was like, well, Laps wants to review this book. Never said that. But, I said it was good.
Who would I be if I was a black man lying for a white man? Who would I be at that point?
So one of the things that I would like to review is just let's finish the freaking Aliens versus Avengers.
Oh, so
we can do
so
that.
We'll do
number
that.
3.
Yeah, dude. The 4th book ain't dropping until June.
That's why I'm saying, because once we do that, then we can get back into the Batman stuff we were doing since more issues dropped since.
Yes. So we'll end up doing that. But yeah, I'm ready to put in more content on the channel than I ever had before. I have a plan that I want to do where, I do want to drop consistent videos, and we already have been doing videos. I just have to put them up. That's really all it is. So on the comic book channel, expect a new episode of Comic Book Market Watch. I'm probably going to get that done later on tonight or early tomorrow morning, because there's a lot to talk about that came up this week.
We need to do another panel like we did the one night.
It really just depends on, Savage has to be gone for 2 weeks. So he's not going to be back.
Well, I mean, we can always ask other people. That should be something, and we should have a name for it.
We should call it Clout Chasers. That's what you guys can call it. No, okay. It just depends. If Warren's not working Wednesday, we can do it. Don't worry. I can set these things up. I'm the man with the plan. We can do it.
Gray, you would like doing that. It's actually kind of fun. Because MSK, he gets real confused when we start talking. So,
I was going to say, the one thing that gives me hesitation is MSK being there. But other than that, yeah, it sounds awesome.
He just kind of gets confused and then mutes himself. And I think the last time we talked for about an hour and 10 minutes, he didn't say anything.
Good Lord.
There it is. There's the look.
I hate you guys, honestly. It's just, I'll have to get Jared back on. So Jared was there.
That was fun. He was.
That man's crazy.
He was fun.
Wild man. It's just, finding comic book people like you and Savage Dad and Warren it's not even needles.
It doesn't have to be comics. It could be anything, man.
No, it's just finding you guys that are just for comics. Oh my goodness. It's literally trying to find gold in a sea of shit, actually. That's pretty much what it is.
Well, at least he compared me to gold.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. You do paint a picture with words, MSK.
No,
Not a very good picture. Kind of
I
seems like
enjoy
hunger
what we
pain.
do here. I enjoy, yeah, guys, get the boys together again. Even if we don't have Savage Shadow Warren, we just got to, do it. I mean, tonight we kind of did that in a little way. We just have a fourth person, but it's always fun talking with the boys and chilling with them and pouring a drink out. And man, those just look like hot toys every single time I look at the motherfuckers. That Thor one is so cool. Oh my goodness. Does it have thunder that comes out?
No, it was that's actually one they did based off of the Jack Kirby museum. One, it was like a Jack Kirby special. And if you noticed, I added this to it, a Captain America shield.
Oh my goodness.
Because I'm a giant dork.
And a nerd.
I'm definitely a dork nerd.
Oh God. But yes,
That's
thank you
true.
guys for obviously watching and listening to the show. It means a lot. But in all seriousness, we have plenty of content coming up later this week, so don't worry. Big Daddy MSK is here. Always, Big Daddy MSK is always here to provide you whatever quality content that you will need. So thank you guys for checking out this episode of the MSK show. And we're going to see you guys later. Have a great night.